gentlemen, I'm Kirk Williamson. Tonight, the Tri-City Americans host the Seattle Thunderbirds. The Thunderbirds are in a rash of one-goal games. Mostly, they're coming out on the short end of those one-goal scores. The Thunderbirds are led by Big Dean Ewan, who is one of the powerhouses on the Seattle team. They have 13 players over 200 pounds. Also look for scoring from Victor Gervais, Glenn Goodall, and Lindsey Vallis. Vallis is Hockey News' pick for the #1 draft pick by the National Hockey League in June. For the Tri-City Americans, they're coming off a big, emotional victory, 5-4, over the Regina Pats on Sunday, in which the Americans came from being down 3-1, then 4-1, 4-2, and scored 3 goals in the last 2.5 minutes to win the game. Stu Barnes from Sean LeBrun for 2 of those goals. Then Barnes getting the assist. LeBrun the game winner with less than a minute to play against the Regina Pats. Tonight it's the Seattle Thunderbirds. And we'll be back with the lineups and the face-off in 1 minute.
Dave, did you see this flyer?
Of Kennewick. And there we're ready to get things underway here at the Tri-Cities Coliseum. Kirk Williamson along with Tony Ott. And Tony, this should be another bumping, bruising, banging, wild, woolly hockey game tonight.
That's the best way to put it, I guess. Yeah, Seattle coming in here and trying to avenge a 4-3 loss to these Tri-City Americans on the Americans' opening night here. And that, if you remember, was a very exciting overtime win.
Well, it was at that, and we're getting ready now for the face-off as Steve McNutt slides into the face-off circle. He'll be taking on, for Seattle, number 10, Glenn Goodall. Goodall out of Thompson, Manitoba. McNutt from Calgary. Puck is down. Goodall wins it. Goes to the Tri-City Americans' end, and in behind the Americans' goal. Back for it is Krause. He's popped pretty hard around behind the goal. Comes out along the boards. Loose puck along the boards. Vallis has it. Vallis dumps it in behind the net. In after it is Delcourt. Delcourt taking a big hit from Nickel. Here come the Americans. McNutt ahead to Spenrath. Spenrath in after it, but out quickly is Danny Lorenz, the Seattle goalie, to play it out into the corner. Puck tied up along the corner. Have part of a face shield in the air, and now we have a whistle as the puck's tied up along the boards. Well, that didn't start it out a little rough. It looked like they might get a chance on goal at the Tri-Cities end, Tony, but it didn't materialize.
Yeah, Spenrath coming on the left side here over the blue line, and the pass is just a little bit ahead of him, and Danny Lorenz coming out to make the fine backhand back around the boards this way to get Spenrath out of the way.
Face off to the right of Danny Lorenz in the face-off circle. In the Seattle end, Seattle in green, Tri-Cities in white with gold. A shot right off the face-off, taken by LeBrun, wide of the net. Puck goes into the corner, comes up to Barnes. Barnes with it. He's wiped out hard by Victor Gervais. Puck goes around behind the net. Comes out along the board. Seattle with it. They lose it. Stolen away by Barnes.
In the middle.
Barnes and LeBrun. LeBrun, a shot. Slides it toward the net. And it's stopped there by Lorenz. He couldn't get much wood on it. And that could have been a big opportunity. They're doing that same play they did before, where LeBrun on the face-off shovels it, or Barnes rather, shovels it toward LeBrun. The first time LeBrun couldn't get wood down.
And we're seeing now for the very first time our new player, Frank Malone, number 16.
So it's Barnes with Malone on the left and LeBrun on the right. Face-off lost right in front of the Seattle net. Barnes won the face-off, but Seattle was there. Malone chases the puck into neutral ice, checks his man off it, leaves the puck, leaves the pass ahead for LeBrun. LeBrun to Barnes. Here comes Barnes, head of the slot, leaves it back for Scherstenka. Scherstenka's shot deflected out front and will be just simply caught by Danny Lorenz. Sets it down, whips it around the dasher boards, left to right, out to the wing where it's tied up along the boards. Now Barnes taking it away.
Nice.
Barnes losing it to Brad Zavisha. Zavisha shooting out to Dean Ewan. Ewan at the blue line. He loses it. Shot back in by Scherstenka. Kept in play by Seattle Stuart Malgunas. He whips it the length of the ice. In after it quickly for Seattle as they turn around and shoot.
Hits the post.
Hits a pipe. Hit the post by Andrew Schneider. Ewan to Schneider from McCammond, and it wouldn't go. They bring it back into the Seattle end. Tri-Cities in a quick shift change, and Seattle with the puck. Dean Ewan at the Seattle blue line, feeds a pass to Tom Sprague. Sprague gets it into neutral ice.
Nice sweep.
Stick checked away by Kwiatkowski. Back it goes to Sprague. Sprague whips it out along the boards. but Cutowitz is there for the Americans. Cutter gets it ahead to Calvin Nibbs. Nibbs nearly losing it to Robert Dumas. Dumas loses it back into the Seattle end. A pass there by Sprague, broken up by Rennie. Rennie chasing it into the corner with Nibbs. Nibbs with the puck, tried to center it. Stolen away by Dumas. Here comes Seattle. Glenn Goodall. Goodall bringing out the Americans. Check it away one more time. Good work by Rennie and Kwiatkowski. Shot out to neutral ice. Here comes Seattle. Goodall with it. But Goodall losing it. Duval to Kwiatkowski. We head to Rennie. Rennie shot blocked inside by Danny Lorenz. Shot toward the goal. Right side. Another big block by Lorenz as Rennie takes his shot. And it goes around into the corner. To the left of the Seattle goal. Into the boards. Nibbs in after it. Big save there by Danny Lorenz. Here comes Seattle. Dumas shoots it across the ice to Nicole. He can't get to it. And the Americans will bring it up. Stolen away at the blue line by Vallis. Vallis 2-on-2. Tried to center it. Ferland blocked it. It goes into the corner, and Vallis gets leveled. Murray Duval. Now as the puck is shot right across in front of the Americans' net by Dirksen. Comes into the corner. Whipped around to the left. All the way around. Right to left. Tom Sprague. Sprague has it stolen away, and it's shot back into neutral ice. Jay Stark with it. Stark shooting it left for Travis. Stolen away by Sand. Trevor Sand wiped out by Stark. A shot taken there by number 7, Shane Cole. And the puck goes into the corner. Good block by the big guy, Danny Lorenz. Here comes Seattle. Malgunas, Kevin Malgunas across the Tri-Cities blue line. Loses
Nice
the
check.
puck. Good hit by Shane Cole at the blue line. Americans with it. Tried to get it out to Sand. Can't do it. Dumped into the corner. The Americans, Cole will go back after it. Gloves on the ice, but I don't see where they came from. And the Americans bring it out. Trevor Sand, good move to break it in. Shoots it along the boards. Into the corner. And Seattle will come in after it. Goes back out to neutral ice, but there's Rob Krause. Krause shooting a pass intended for Delcourt. Puck's loose. Back into the Seattle end. Delcourt chasing it. Gets it to McCammon. Ian McCammon plays it off the boards. McNutt. McNutt is hooked quickly by Gervais. And they get it in toward the Seattle goal, and Lorenz will stop it there.
It looks like Spenrath is down there, John, a little bit.
Now he takes the hit from Ewan.
As the policeman steps in.
Spenrath and Dean Ewan, and Dean Ewan certainly wears the badge for Seattle.
There's no doubt about that. Spenrath and Ewan have a little thing, I think, from last game. They kind of...
Well, that was left over from the game before that.
That's true about that.
McNutt will face off for Tri-Cities to the right of Danny Lorenz, off of his right hand. To the left as you look on. McNutt against Gervais. Puck is down. Won by McNutt to Sherstenka. Tries to backhand it. Stripped away by Dumas. Out to the blue line, but Tri-Cities keeping it in play. Delcourt right of the goal. A shot. Hits the glass around behind the net. Comes into McNutt. McNutt banged along the glass. Puck's in the air. Delcourt goes in after it. Now Seattle with it in the neutral zone, but
here we go. Now
Spenrath and Dean Ewan, and they got the Dukes up, the helmets down.
You can almost see it coming.
Ewan really wants the battle here. Spenrath taking the first poke, tying up Ewan's hands. Now the big redhead trying to get Ewan wrapped up here. Ewan can really throw him. He throws one and misses. Spenrath gets him in the
Oh, and there's a good one.
Couple of big hits by Greg Spenrath on Ewan. Spenner trying to get Ewan's sweater up over his head there. Not with much success. Now Spenner taking one in the back of the head.
And Spenrath's elbow pad is trying to slide down there, stopping his punches.
This is a big-time heavyweight bout right here.
There's no doubt. Oh, and there he goes.
Spenrath goes down. Ewan gets a couple of big hits on him, and now the linesmen dive in quickly to break it up. Ewan threw Spenrath down and got a couple of good pops. Now Ewan goes to the penalty box along with Spenrath. Neither player appears to be the worse for wear.
And if this is any indication on how tonight's contest is going to be, we're in for quite an evening. As they go and pick up the equipment for both players and take them over to the respective penalty boxes.
We'll have the referee's announcement of the penalties in 30 seconds on this KOTY Americans hockey broadcast.
The Seattle Thunderbirds right now are doing a great job in killing the penalty. As a matter of fact, over the last 16 attempts, they have let no goals go in.
Americans' first power play opportunity of the night comes at 15:03 left on the clock in the
Thunderbirds penalty to number 15, Craig Nickel, 2 minutes before roughing.
Roughing to Nickel. 2 minutes, and the Americans will have the power play. But Seattle stealing the puck. They dump it the length of the ice. Goes into the right of the Americans' net. Furlan there. He'll whip it around the boards out to number 18, LeBrun. Here comes LeBrun. LeBrun nibs and Kwiatkowski. LeBrun stripped of the puck. Goes back to Jay Stark. Jakes back to Barnes. Barnes feeds a pass up the right side. Now to Kwiatkowski. Kwiatkowski airs it into the Seattle end. They race in after it. Nibs going in for the puck along the boards. Nibs along with Jay Stark. Now it comes out to Kwiatkowski. Kiwi back out to LeBrun. LeBrun down to Barnes. Barnes in the left wing. Back up front now to LeBrun. LeBrun fakes the shot. Goes back to Barnes along the boards. Barnes out to Jakes. Jakes a drive down the slot. Nibs tried to hit it on in and it wouldn't go. Nibs pasted to the boards by Stuart Malgunas. Nibs and Kwiatkowski digging for the puck. It comes out to the point. Jakes getting it to Kwiatkowski. Back to LeBrun. LeBrun a quick wrist shot. And it's deflected wide of the net. Kwiatkowski in after it. Under a minute to go in a power play. Puck comes around the boards. Barnes has it back to LeBrun. LeBrun with it to Barnes. Barnes on the wing. Left of the goal to LeBrun. Bangs it off the skates of Ian McCammond. It goes across the ice and it's shot into the neutral zone by number 13, Victor Gervais. Americans will have to break it back in. Barnes right to LeBrun. LeBrun will have to wheel back to get it. LeBrun putting a move there on Goodall. Nearly losing the puck does to Schneider. Schneider shoots it back into the Tri-Cities end. Good penalty killing. Puck shot once again back into the neutral ice area. Here comes Goodall. Goodall trying to beat LeBrun. Can't do it. LeBrun bangs him against the boards. Now it goes to Rennie. Rennie has it stolen away by Schneider. But back is LeBrun. 12 seconds remaining. Here comes Barnes. Barnes with it at the blue line. Stu Barnes goes left to LeBrun. LeBrun tried to feed it in. It's blocked by Dumas. Barnes will back away from the play. Back to LeBrun. There was a stick in the way that time.
Penalties expired.
LeBrun with it. Tries to wrist it in from the side. Can't do it. Blocked by Dumas' body out along the boards. Out to Goodall. Here comes Goodall. Goes left now. Goodall with it. Goodall head of the slot. Slides it in on Furlan. He was checked off the puck by Kutowitz. Americans whip it around behind the net. LeBrun with it. Airs it into neutral ice. It's knocked down there by Nickel. Tri-Cities with it. Shot into the Seattle end. Goes to the right of the goal, but Seattle back forward as the Americans change shifts very quickly. Delcourt with Sen and Murray Duval. Here comes Seattle. Zavisha dumping it behind now to Dean Hall. Zavisha and Hall chase it into the corner. Kutowitz is there along with Duval. Duval digging it off the boards. Whips the pass around to Fry. Left to right. Back out to the point. Simon shot wide of the net. Goes off into the left boards. Malgunas
Nice
in for it. Great check there, and the Americans have it. But it's stolen away by Dean Hall. Hall losing it in the slot. Good check there. Simon on Fry. Fry and ex-Seattle Thunderbird. Puck's loose right in front of the net. That's got to drive Furlan nuts. Goes to the right side to Dirksen. Dirksen checked off the puck by Simon. Here comes Lindsay Vallis. Vallis shoots it ahead through the neutral ice area.
What a
to
pop.
Zavisha. And you heard Dirksen nailed Lindsay Vallis. Oh, he really belted Vallis. Puck comes out now to Devin Dirksen for the Americans. Here come the Americans 3-on-3. Goes right to Fry. Fry tried to headman it, and instead it goes into the corner. Touched by Seattle and will have icing.
Well, I tell you, Devin Dirksen just completely leveled Lindsay Vallis down here right at the penalty box. And I think that he wanted to put him in the penalty box there and have him sit down there with Dean Ewan.
Well, the faceoff will go to the right of Frank Furlan in the Tri-City Americans end. And the faceoff circle to the right of the Americans net. It'll be Sen against Glenn Goodall. And now the Seattle goalie, Lorenz, comes down, throws the stick down into the end where there's actually play underway, trying to get the referee to, or one of the linesmen to get it off the ice. They finally do. Midway in the first period, no score. Face-off to the right of Frank Furlan. Kwiatkowski now, as Kwiatkowski goes in to take the draw. He's chased out, and there's Rennie. It'll be Rennie against Nickel as Glenn Goodall slides around Rennie, having a word with everybody in sight. And now we're ready to go. Nickel against Rennie. Rennie winning the draw. Gets it at the corner. Comes out along behind the net to Shane Cole. Cole shoots it ahead now to Nibbs. Calvin Nibbs Good move to evade his man. Dumps it into the Seattle end. The Americans chase in after it. Kwiatkowski and Nibs go in for it along the boards. Nibs with it in the corner. Back check by Travis. Check from behind and knocked right down by Shannon Travis. Nibs with it. He takes a wicked cross check by Goodall. But Nibs still has it. Leaving it behind for Kwiatkowski. Out for it is Goodall. They get it along the boards, but not into neutral ice. Kept in play by the Americans. In that corner to the right of the net. Another big hit there on Goodall by Nibs as Seattle whips the pass around behind the net. Left behind by Rennie. But nobody home for the Americans. Goes to Goodall. Goodall checked off the puck. Now they get it into neutral ice. Seattle, Goodall fanning at the puck. Rennie goes after it. Rennie and Stevenson scramble for the puck. Now Shane Cole puts Stevenson into the boards. And they go across ice in front of the net. Tri-Cities with it. Rennie to Cole. Stolen away. Centered, intended for Zavisha. And Brad couldn't get to it. Big hit on Zavisha. Now here come the Americans. Shane Cole with it. Whips it into the Seattle end. Ooh, it's starting to get rough down there as Cole and Stuart Malagunas trade cross checks to the head. LeBrun tried to center it, but nobody home for the Americans. Trying to get it to Barnes. There comes Zavisha. Zavisha had to Gertson now. Gertson with the puck nearly loses it to Malone. And the Americans lose the puck, but along the board, Sprague takes a big hit. A drive by Gervais. Blocked by Ferlin, and here come the Americans. Gervais paid for that one. Here comes Barnes. Barnes, Zarema into the Tri-Cities end. You hear the fans yell, Stu. Into Jakes. Jakes a wrist shot. And it's blocked by Lorenz. I don't think Lorenz expected to see Jakes that deep on the net.
Stu Barnes right there again, showing how great of a stick handler he really is and how good of a skater he is. Skating around the circles, takes a shot over towards the right side, puts it in, and there's the shot on goal. And Frank Ferlin's out of the net, wandering around a little bit.
Well, he came out to explain something to the linesman. I don't know what it was that the linesman didn't get right, but...
You know, the Americans right now are playing a great brand of hockey down here. They're keeping Seattle in their own defensive zone. And for the first half of this period, I would be really close to saying that 75% of the action has been right down here to our left.
Left of the goal, left of the Seattle goal will be the face-off. 9:38 to go in the first period. Still no score in the hockey game. It'll be Barnes facing off against, I believe that's 11 Gertz. No, it's 7. Andrew Schneider. Schneider being chased. He is a little kid.
Yeah.
Schneider's 5'9", 145 pounds. I had to double check the book today to see if he really was. He is. It'll be Barnes against Hall now. Barnes winning the draw. Puck goes into the corner. Seattle chasing him. Malgunas with it. He and Barnes tie it up. Now taken off his stick by Dean Hall. Hall with it. Right straight up in front of the net. Here comes Dean Hall, but it's 2-on-3. The Americans 3 men back. Hall wiping out. Delcourt getting it. Tried to get it to Barnes, but he got it to Simon instead. Simon shoots it in on net, and it's taken away by Kutowitz. Cutter plays it off the boards. Ahead to Delcourt. Delcourt dumping it into the left corner. In around behind the Seattle net as Danny Lorenz goes in after it. Around behind the net, Delcourt. But it comes out to Ewan. Here comes Ewan one-on-one with Kutowitz. Ewan flips it toward the net, and it's saved out of there by Duval. Duval to LeBrun. LeBrun gets it ahead to Delcourt. Delcourt with Barnes. Leaving it behind for LeBrun. LeBrun to Barnes in front of the net. But LeBrun can't get it to Barnes. Stu Barnes with a puck just to the left of the net. Tries to get it to slide in on Lorenz. Lorenz blocks it, and here come the Thunderbirds. They dump it down into neutral ice. Back goes Jakes for it. Steve Jakes bringing it back out of the Tri-Cities end. Jakes with a puck as he wheels through his own zone. To Fry. Great pass there to Barnes. Barnes across the blue line. Stu Barnes to the right side. Tied up there by Tom Sprague. And they get it into the corner. Delcourt going in after it. He's checked off the puck by Goodall. Loose puck comes out to Scherstenka. In after it is Rick Fry. Fry is shot, and it's blocked by Lorenz. Out to Delcourt. Delcourt out to Scherstenka. Scherstenka goes in after it, but it's out loose along the boards. Kept in play by Delcourt to Scherstenka. Left of the slot to Trevor Sand. Sand flips the pass across, but it's gloved by Seattle. It's gloved by number 15, Nickel. And Seattle with it in the neutral ice area. They break it in. It goes in with Goodall. But offsides will be called as one of the Seattle players was in too early.
Greg Nichols down there, they're starting to separate him a little bit. Looks like Nickel and Rick Fry are having a couple words with each other.
Well, I think Fry's not the only one in there.
Yeah.
Dirksen was in there, and Jakes. Now Trevor Senn getting an earful from Glenn Goodall.
The Kibitzing Club.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a coffee clutch, doesn't it? Yap, yap, yap. Scoreboard saying noise, noise, noise. And you hear the sound coming from that PA system as they start to try to get the crowd rocking and rolling here.
When Stu Barnes came down in front of the net in front of Danny Lorenz, number 7 for Seattle, Andrew Schneider, was poking him around a little bit. I think they're going to be doing a little bit of that tonight.
On the faceoff, won by Seattle, but it goes right to Shane Cole. Cole with it, shooting it ahead, but a bad pass. The Americans have to work to get it back into their own end. Shot into Rennie and offsides. Rennie and Kwiatkowski, and one of them was offside.
Just in ahead.
7:36 to go in the first period. No score in the hockey game.
You know, before the game, Barry Melrose, the coach of Seattle, was mentioning how he wants to keep LeBrun and Stu Barnes out of this game. And that's going to be quite a job for Seattle to do.
Well, that's going to be a big job to do. No score in the hockey game. Kirk Williamson along with Tony Ott. Face-off, Rennie and Gervais. Gervais winning it. Goes back to a Seattle defenseman. Travis shooting it ahead, and it goes into the Tri-Cities end. Round behind the net, but Krause is there. Big hit on Krause by Malgunas. Americans with it. They tried to get it to Barnes. Giveaway. Krause has it. Krause shoots it into neutral ice. Ahead to Rennie. Rennie 2-on-3 with Nibbs. Rennie checked off the puck. Nibbs can't get to it. Yes, he does. Dumps it into the corner. Seattle with it. They try to squeeze it up along the boards. Shot into the head of the slot. It goes now to Shannon Travis. Here comes Travis out of Lethbridge, Alberta. Crossed the blue line and a little too soon as Zavisha raced in ahead of him, and the offside was called.
You know, Kirk, we've had relatively clean hockey games so far. There's only been 1 or 2 occasions that I've seen actually a stick come above the shoulders, but other than the fight and the roughing penalty, we're playing some good hockey here.
7:03 to go in the period. It is McNutt against Dean Hall on the face-off outside the Tri-Cities blue line. Puck's down. Out it comes to Simon. Simon whips it into the Tri-Cities end. Darcy Simon out to the point, and they lose it there on the left side. It went around right to left. Dean Ewan couldn't keep it in play. Now the Americans stealing it. Delcourt dumps it in behind the Seattle net. Lorenz back to play it. Leaves it behind now for Malgunas. Malgunas shooting it ahead along the boards. Getting it to Dean Hall. Hall wheels around in front of the net. Stolen away by Delcourt. Delcourt with it along the boards to Spenrath. Spenrath around behind the net. Center!
And a goal!
Scores!
Beautiful pass right in the middle there. And I'll tell you what, if you're ever to take anything and shoot it right in, that was a beautiful pass right in there. Delcourt, what can you say? That play was just set up all the way around. That was just a beautiful play.
Well, and it comes at 13:27 of the first period. The Americans scoring first, a full-strength goal. The assists will go to Spenrath and Delcourt.
McNutt just positioned himself beautifully in front of the slot there and just put it right down on the ground.
How many times have you seen a guy wrap around the net, shoot it out into the slot, and discover there's nobody home?
That's right.
This time, Nutter doing just the right thing.
That's right.
Seattle wins the draw. They shoot it in behind the net. Ferland whips it back out. Comes back out, intended for Dumas. Stolen away by McNutt. Here comes McNutt. 2-on-2. McNutt with Delcourt. Delly tried to center it. McNutt can't get back to it. Seattle with it along the boards. Big hit by Scherstenka as the Americans try to keep it in the Seattle end. Back out to the point. Shot back into the corner as Jakes keeps it in play. Underneath it goes now to McNutt. Back into the corner. Seattle with it as they try to break it out of their own end. Travis getting the pass ahead now to Goodall. Goodall stolen away by Scherstenka. Scherstenka one-on-one. Scherstenka drive wide of the net, goes into the corner. Dan taking a big hit there. In after it is Malone. Kept out of the net by Lorenz. Malone and Stark dig away for it. Comes back out to LeBrun now. LeBrun. But it's taken away off the boards by Seattle. Shot back into neutral ice. Back for it. Ferland will let it go back for icing, and they'll bring it back down to the Seattle end. Icing, if you're watching, if you're on your defensive side of the center red line and you shoot the puck the length of the ice, it crosses the red line, the other team's blue line, or the goal line without going through the goalie crease, it is considered icing. Same as a delay of game and the penalty. is a face-off right in your goalie's face.
You know, I really like the way that Frank Malone looks so far. He's a good skater, and he's heads up. He sends that puck right into the middle of the slot there. So I think we're going to be looking at a great line right there.
Well, he went to the Minnesota North Stars training camp this fall, and he doesn't quite have the size the North Stars were looking for, but as the face-off won by Seattle, here they come. Gervais getting it ahead to Zavisha. Zavisha in on Ferland. Shot blocked by Ferland. Point-blank range. And the puck shot back out of there by the Americans. Here comes Tri-Cities. Seattle stealing it back at the head of the slot, and we have a whistle. It'll be offsides against Seattle. Oh, my. Zavisha racing in on Ferland.
Doing his magic again. It's a good thing nobody was there for Seattle to catch that rebound. That rebound came off in a little bit of a precarious way there, and that could have looked kind of ugly if it would have been popped right back in the net.
Could have. One of the times this weekend, one of the games this weekend, we'll have a chance to talk with Americans trainer Jim Craig about that goalie mask that Frank Ferland's wearing. He was wearing the cage before, similar to what Danny Lorenz is wearing. Now he's wearing a mask that Jim Craig assembled for him. On the face-off, another offsides, and we'll do it again. 1-0, the Americans lead over the Seattle Thunderbirds. And face-off will be Rennie against Schneider. This time Dogger wins it. It goes to Kotowitz. Kotowitz back to Rennie. Rennie takes a hit from Dumas, but right there is Nibbs. Nibbs skying it into the Seattle zone. After it is Kwiatkowski. Bang! Kwiatkowski buried Malkunis, but it's stolen away by Seattle. Here come the T-Birds. Schneider with it. Schneider in a hurry. Pulls up short at the blue line. Goes into the corner. The puck backhanded toward the slot. Stolen away by Kotowitz. Kotowitz getting it to Kwiatkowski. Kiwi shooting it right to left into the corner. In after it very quickly is Simon, or check it, Dumas. Along the corner, in after him is Kwiatkowski. As Nibbs, Kwiatkowski, and Dumas dig for the puck. Dumas falls on it, and that'll take care of that.
Kirk, you know, I'm looking at my watch here. We're going to get this first period done here under an hour. That's pretty good.
Just about record time. 1-0. The Tri-City Americans leading the Seattle Thunderbirds here at Tri-Cities Coliseum. Face-off will be McNutt against number 10, Glenn Goodall. Goodall from Thompson, Manitoba. McNutt from Calgary. On the face-off, Goodall winning it. Back to Simon. Shot around the boards. Comes out to the point. Schustenka. A drive, but it's deflected out front. Now Seattle with it along the boards. Kept in play by Delcourt. Delcourt shot. Blocked by Lorenz. Back out to the point. Seattle with it as they scramble for it along the boards. Goodall shooting it across the ice. Leaving it there for Simon. Shot into the neutral ice area, and Tri-Cities has it. Shot back into the neutral zone from the Tri-Cities end. Puck dumped back into the Tri-City zone, but the Americans have it. Shot ahead to Spenrath. Spenrath whipping it into the Seattle end, into the corner. McNutt going in after it. Bang! Oh. McNutt clobbered Shannon Travis as they scramble for the puck. McNutt and Travis trying to dig it off the boards. Now McNutt gets it. Center scored!
You betcha!
To Steve Jakes.
And a beautiful pass in front again. There, I tell you, practice must have said, be right in the middle. So there was so many opportunities against Regina. They're showing what they're going to do with the opportunities tonight against the Seattle T-Birds. And look at that, high fives all the way down the bench.
2-0. The Americans leading the Seattle Thunderbirds here in Tri-Cities Coliseum. Steve McNutt certainly has started off this game in fine fashion.
All the Americans are playing extremely well this first period.
Face-off will be Trevor Sen. Sen against Gervais. Gervais winning it. Stark. Jake's getting the goal. McNutt the assist for the Americans. I think that'll be the only assist. Nope, Delcourt also getting the assist. Puck goes around behind the net, out to Rick Fry. Fry shooting it across the ice. Seattle stealing it away, dumping it back into the Americans' end. Shane Cole back for it. Cole goes right to left to Krause, and Cole dumps his man. Ahead to Dirksen, but it's a two-line pass. An offside pass intended for Devin Dirksen. 3:05 to go in the period. 2-0, the Americans leading the Seattle Thunderbirds.
You know, Kirk, as you can see that the Americans' passing game tonight has improved dramatically over the last several games that I've watched. Their passes are right there. They're right at the blade. They're not sloppy passes, and they're making some good passes on some throw-in passes down here in the corner, too, and following up with a great attack. So the Americans came here to play hockey tonight. There's no doubt.
It'll be Barnes against Schneider on the face-off. Barnes with LeBrun and Malone. Puck's down. Barnes winning the draw. Back to Kutowitz. Cutter in behind the net. Dean Ewan there to scramble with him. And he gets it out to LeBrun. Barnes taking a hit. Barnes with the puck across neutral ice. Barnes with it. Slides it into the slot. Leaves it behind for LeBrun. LeBrun shot blocked by Lorenz. LeBrun whacks it back toward the net. In after it is Malone. Shot around behind the goal. Ewan and Barnes tying up for it. Goes to Murray Duval. Duval playing a defenseman tonight. Goes in behind the net. Here comes Seattle with it to Stevenson. Out to the point. Kutowitz shot wide of the net. Goes into the corner. Ewan chips it back into neutral ice. Back for it is Malone. Malone over to Kutowitz. Malone and Kutowitz. Cutter with it. Kutowitz leaving it behind, but right there to steal it is Dean Ewan. Ewan in the slot, 1-on-2, goes in on Ferland and loses the puck. Shot back in front of the net. They tried to center it, couldn't do it. Here come the Americans, 2-on-2. Barnes back there. Barnes putting a move on, trying to get around Darcy. Simon can't do it. And now Barnes and Simon tie up along the boards. Barnes taking a punch at Simon. Simon had hold of Barnes's glove. And here comes Seattle, shot wide of the net by Stevenson. Now Kwiatkowski with it. Kwiatkowski bringing it up, whips it into the Seattle end. Lorenz dumping it in front of him, leaving it for Simon. American shift change. Simon coming up. Simon across neutral ice, whips it in behind the Americans' net. Ferland there to leave it for Jakes. Jakes out along the boards now to Nibbs. Calvin Nibbs ahead to Rennie. Dogger with it. He takes a big hit from behind. Rennie and Nibbs as they get it into the Seattle end. Whips around the goal, behind the goal. In after it will be Rennie and Seattle with it. They get the pass out to Goodall. Goodall. Nibbs took it away, but lost it to Jay Stark. Stark goes left to Gertzen. Gertzen in the slot, and we have a whistle as the puck slides in on Frank Ferland.
As you saw down here a little bit earlier, number 21, Darcy Simon for the T-Birds, and Stu Barnes kind of jawing at each other a little bit. I'll tell you something, the coach, Barry Melrose, is going to make sure that these two players, or the two players, LeBrun and Stu Barnes, are going to stay out of this game tonight, and I can see that the other line for the American is making up the difference.
Well, McNutt has a goal and an assist already. Delcourt a pair of assists. Out to the point, off the faceoff, a big drive. Second shot, Travis. Ferland blocked it once. Travis took a shot at it and couldn't handle it. And here comes the puck back into neutral ice. Back into the Seattle end. Shannon Travis with it. Travis shooting a pass ahead. Intended for number 18, Zavisha. It'll be kept in play by the Americans at the Seattle blue line. Delcourt to McNutt. McNutt into the corner with it. As Seattle will whip it around behind the net. McNutt goes in on Simon. McNutt and Spenrath. Spenrath puts a hit on Simon. Now McNutt crunch. The puck goes to Spenrath. It's loose. McNutt really taking a hit. Jake shooting in front of the net. Puck's tied up right there. Spenrath trying to get Wood down as Lorenz comes out and whacks it away. Spenrath in after it, waiting for Simon. Simon puts a hit on him. Comes out now to Jay Stark with the puck along the corner. Spenrath along the boards with Shannon Travis and Goodall, or Gervais rather. And they'll have a face-off there.
You know, Kirk, this is the first time that the Tri-City Americans all year have had a 2-0 lead, according to some of the statistics I've just been received. And that isn't too bad.
Barry Kelburn, the head of the off-ice officials, giving us that bit of information. 2-1 the score. Tri-City's leading Seattle, 2-0. Tri-City's leading Seattle. 15 seconds to play in the hockey game. Reminder, coming up, in fact, we'll be making the big announcement tomorrow on KOTY FM 106.5, your Country Fresh FM. We'll have a guest announcer program, a guest colorman program on these broadcasts. So be listening to 106.5 tomorrow for that announcement. Face-off won by Seattle. Here comes Goodall. Glenn Goodall with it across the blue line into the Tri-City's hand. Left of the net. Goodall stripped away by Barnes. Barnes and Goodall, they get it up front to Stark, and time runs out. So the score at the end of the first period The Tri-City Americans 2, Seattle Thunderbirds nothing. And we'll be back in 2 minutes on this KOTY Americans hockey broadcast.
Our computer was collecting dust and...
McNutt wins the draw, but the Americans give up the puck in center ice, and it goes down into the Tri-City's end. Around behind the Americans, net comes out to Delcourt. Delcourt taking a big hit, but he gets the puck ahead to McNutt. Nutter with it across neutral ice, shoots a pass for Spenrath. Spenrath can't get to it. Stark takes it away down into the corner, takes a big hit from Spenrath and back out to Delcourt. Puck's loose along the boards. Delcourt in after it as Delcourt and Spenrath dig away at it with Dean Hall and Jay Stark. Puck finally pops loose. Delcourt almost had it. Now it comes out. Seattle with it as they shoot it across into neutral ice. Back forward for the Americans is Krause. He keeps it in play. But the pass is knocked away. Back to neutral ice. Back to Shane Cole. Now Cole flips it into the corner. Hits the dasher board. Goes all the way around behind the net. Delcourt takes a whack at it. Misses. Here comes Dean Ewan. Ewan for Seattle. Shoots it left to number 16, Hall. Hall tried to center it for Ewan, and it goes to Malgunas instead. Malgunas takes a big hit from Krause. Krause passes it behind the back. Back into neutral ice. Back in behind the net, and Shane Cole goes in for it. Kirk Williamson along with Olaf Kolzig. Ahead it goes to LeBrun, to Delcourt. LeBrun trying to keep it in play. Back to Shane Cole, and Cole whips it down in behind the Seattle net. Danny Lorenz in after it. Robert Dumas for Seattle. Out with the puck. Has it stolen away. Barnes and a whistle. Oh. Referee blowing the whistle. Barnes cranked up. He was all set to take a blast. This one is going to go against the Americans, I believe, Ole.
Yeah, it looks like it. The team certainly came out with a lot more enthusiasm today, which was missing for the last 3 games. The spirit of the team is a little more pumped up in the dressing room. Frank's ready to play. He's dangling his post with his stick. You know, everybody's coming by, high-fiving him on the goals, and it shows on the ice right now.
The penalty goes against Shane Cole. And I did not hear what the infraction was, Ole, did you?
I believe it was for interference.
Interference against Shane Cole comes at 1:23.
Oh, check that, Kirk. That was for high sticking.
High stick against Shane Cole. That's one we haven't seen a lot of.
No, they haven't forced it that much this year.
Jakes with it for the Americans. Ahead to Barnes. Great pass to Barnes. And Barnes is double teamed and upended by Malgunas. And number 16, Dean Hall. Now Hall with the puck for Seattle as they bring it back. Seattle on the power play. Shot wide of the net. Furlan comes out for it. Whips it along the boards. Puck goes down in behind the corner. They tried to get it to Goodall. Goodall with it. Comes out to the point. Out to number 6, Malgunas. Stewart loses it. Barnes almost stealing it away. And the puck controlled by the Americans. Jakes from Scherstenka ahead for Barnes. But Dumas back there to pass the puck to the right to Malgunas. Malgunas shooting it ahead into Glenn Goodall. Now Ewan with it. Ewan comes in on Furlan. Whips around the net. And back there with him is Scherstenka and LeBrun to see that Ewan does no damage. Comes out to the corner. Malgunas back to Ewan underneath. Ewan back underneath now to Dean Hall behind the net. Hall back out to Dumas. Dumas at the point to Malgunas. A blast by Malgunas. Great save by Furlan. Malgunas with it. Slides it in again. Trying to deflect it. Furlan's another great save as Goodall gets a deflection. And Furlan making the very quick recovery. Dumas with it. Goes to Malgunas. Malgunas slides it down the slot. Deflected by Dean Hall and wide of the net. Back out to Malgunas. Malgunas to Dumas. He fans at it. Gives it away. Here comes Barnes. One-on-one. You hear the crowd yell, Stu. Barnes slides it across, intended for LeBrun. Brunner can't get quite to it. LeBrun and Dean Ewan dig at the puck along the boards. Great play by Barnes. Just couldn't quite complete the pass. Puck shot up into neutral ice. Jakes, 10 seconds remaining in the penalty. Here comes Rennie. Rennie getting around Malgunas, but losing the puck there to Gervais. Victor Gervais around behind the net. Here comes Gervais in a hurry, but it's 3-on-4. Gervais all the way around behind the net, and in after him is Jakes, and Jakes blasts him for his trouble. Puck's loose along the net. Now Ewan chips it out of there, but in after it is Shane Cole. Penalty's over. Back to Jay Stark at center ice to Zavisha. Zavisha trying to leave it. Now we have a fight going on. Shane Cole and Kevin Malgunas. This might be interesting. Kevin Malgunas is a youngster, and Shane Cole drops him right to the ice. and pounds him one in the ear, and then they're down on the ice. Bully, one of the reasons Shane Cole came to this team was to provide a little bit of toughness, I believe.
Oh, definitely. He's a big boy, and you know, a lot of players had trouble with him out east, and now he came to the west to show what he can do. He's a real tough guy.
Shane, 6'1", 205. Out of Mankato, Saskatchewan.
Doing a little fight dance there for the fans.
And into the penalty box goes Shane Cole and Kevin Malgunas. Malgunas, a youngster.
He's not really known for his fighting ability. I think that was a pretty uneven match.
Yeah, I would think so.
Well, whatever we
Shane Cole, number 22 of the Seattle Thunderbirds, Kevin Malgunas. 5 minutes each for fighting. Go ahead, Ole, I'm sorry.
Well, whatever we lack in power play, we sure make up for in penalty killing. You know, the team's playing well tonight in all departments.
Penalty killing's been exceptional. There haven't been that many power plays, only one in the game, and the Americans 0 for 1 on that one.
Yeah, Frank's playing sharp tonight. A few deflections there he reacted to pretty quick. I think the couple of days off really helped him.
Yeah, he was tired Saturday night.
Yeah, mentally and physically he was really tired. Coach gave him a couple days off to gather his thoughts, and you know, he's proven it tonight.
I bet you're starting to get real anxious.
Oh, I'm already off the crutches. I want to go back on the ice next week, but you know, it's up to the doctor.
On the faceoff, dumped into the Tri-Cities end. Puck stolen away by Gervais. Gervais takes a backhand on Furlan, goes wide of the net. Americans in after it. Nibbs getting it ahead to Kwiatkowski. Back into neutral ice. Seattle chasing after it. Jay Stark. Stark shoots it right to left across the ice, and Krause back for it. Krause for the Americans. His pass knocked down by Hall. Hall slips it back toward the net. But it's shot back into neutral ice by Krause, and it will be icing if it gets to the goal line. Just does. Nope. It was waved off as Tri-Cities got back in there to touch it. Puck's around behind the Seattle net. Here come the Thunderbirds. They shoot it into neutral ice. Pass intended for Hall, and it will go the length to the ice. Be touched by Murray Duval. Duval brings it around the net. Duval checked off the puck there. Loose puck along the ice. Zavisha knocking Duval off the puck, goes to Krause. Krause's pass right to Duval. Good pass. Here comes Tri-Cities. 3-on-3. Duval up the board, slides in, tried to center it, tried to get it to Rennie, couldn't do it. Puck shot around behind the net. Over along the boards, taken away by Kwiatkowski. Kiwi a drive! A stick deflection by Lorenz goes wide into the boards. Kept in play by the Americans into Seattle end. Travis with it as they scramble for the puck along boards. Travis and Rennie. And now Rennie with the puck. Dogger goes around, tried to center it to Delcourt. Has it knocked away, and here comes Seattle, 3-on-2. Seattle with it. Dumas across the blue line, feeds a pass left for Nicole. Nicole with it. Tried to slide it in front of the net. It hit the side of the net instead, and it's stolen away by Delcourt. Here comes Greg Delcourt for the Americans. 1-on-2. Delcourt going in on Lorenz. Nice pulls move. Up short. Tried to get it out to Krause, but Krause didn't get across the blue line in time. Krause airs it up, and it falls into the Seattle end. Malgunas with it behind the net. Goes to Darcy Simon. There are brothers Malgunas on the ice. They're not the same age. Stewart the older, or elder, as Seattle on a breakaway. They get it down. It goes to Goodall, and Furlan beats him. Around behind the net, shoots, and Furlan takes it on the pads. Goes to Krause. Furlan really frustrating Goodall as Darcy Simon goes down out front. I don't think a puck got him. I think he got...
well, Krause is going off for roughing.
Krause,
so, well. Penalty to number 2, Rob Krause. 2 minutes before roughing. The time of the penalty, 5 minutes and 56.
What Furlan did there was as good as a save. He took the angle away, forced the shooter to go around the net, came out the other side. Frank took the angle away again, nowhere to shoot. That, to me, is as good as a save. You know, if you force the player to shoot wide, it's so much easier for the goaltender.
Also noticed that when Furlan had to go from side to side, that Jakes was in there with him right in next to the net to give Frank a little bit of help.
Yeah, that helps too. That keeps the guy in front from you know, getting too close to the net, forcing the shooter to shoot instead of passing.
Gervais against McNutt. Nutters all of a sudden showed up to play tonight.
He's having a heck of a game tonight.
Isn't he, though?
Yeah, yeah.
First goal and an assist. Loses the draw, though, to Dean Hall. Out to the slot, shot, and Furlan sticks it away once again. Kutowicz shooting at the length of the ice. Americans killing another penalty. This is Seattle's second power play of the game, second of the period. Seattle 0 for 1 so far on the power play. Here come the Thunderbirds. They get it ahead to Hall. Hall following Ewan. Across the blue line it goes. Dean Hall with it. Hall down into the corner for Gervais. Checked away by Furlan as he tried to center it to Ewan, and Ewan gets belted by Devin Dirksen. There's a mismatch for you. Comes out to Gervais. Gervais in the slot. Slides it across to Dumas. Dumas up front to Malgunas. His shot blocked out front. Point blank range, and Furlan saves it twice. Point blank, Dean Hall. And Furlan covers it up.
Dirksen and Ewan might be a mismatch in size, but believe me, Devon's just totally out-hearts Ewan. He's always in the corners. He's one of the first guys in the corner. He's not afraid to take a hit. He's always there for you.
He does play with a lot of heart.
Yeah. It just looks to me tonight that Seattle doesn't want to come to play. They're hesitant to go in the corners. They're afraid that Krause here, Jakes here, Spenner might be there to put him out to lunch, but it just doesn't look to me like Seattle's come to play tonight.
Running against Goodall, the face-off to the left of Frank Furlan. Minute 15 remaining in the penalty to Rob Krause. Also in the penalty box is Kevin Malgunas, and I'm not sure.
That's still for the fight.
Oh. And Seattle scores as they bring it right across, and it's shot right by Furlan. Furlan's upset with himself on that one. He was screened.
Yeah, I think he's upset because our defenseman skated right in front of him as the shot was taken. I don't know who it was, but he was trying to get the Seattle player out of there, and as he did, he skated in front of Frank, causing Frank to lose the puck for a few seconds.
First of the season, scored by number 8, Tom Sprague. Assist to number 2, Shannon Travis, and to number 10, Glenn Goodall. The time of the goal, 6 minutes and 47 seconds. That's Sprague from...
You hear the announcement from Kevin Gallant. And now the Seattle Thunderbirds back within 1, 2-1. Here come the Americans. LeBron. Oh, what a chance. He slid it across, intended for number 16. Frank Malone. Malone couldn't get wood on it. Back into the Tri-Cities end. Gervais chasing it. Has it knocked away by Murray Duval. Here comes Duval dumping it into the corner. Goes around behind the net. Shot back out along the corners. Jakes takes it away. Jakes and Malone. Shot into the corner and back into neutral ice by Seattle. Now McNutt. After it, they get it across to the right to Jakes. Jakes takes it in. A shot deflected out front by Seattle's Tom Sprague. Puck coming out to the corner. Barnes drives it toward the slot. In after it is LeBron as the puck is shot the length of the ice by the Seattle Thunderbirds. It'll be icing as the Americans getting a lot of pressure on Danny Lorenz that time.
Yeah, we're definitely emphasizing forechecking the past few days. Coach Oliver, has been doing a lot of forechecking practice this week, and you can tell right now in the game that that's what we're doing. It's too bad though that the first few minutes of the period we didn't forecheck as much, because at the end of this first, Danny Lorenz was shaken up a bit. I could see him after the second goal. He was skating back and forth pretty rapidly, shooting the puck. I imagine he was swearing to himself too. And once a goaltender does that, you have to force him because he's rattled.
Well, he seems to have settled down a bit now. Face off to Lorenz's right. In around behind the net as Seattle wins the draw. Krause keeping it in play. Shoots it back into the Seattle end. Both teams at full strength. McNutt in after along with Delcourt. Working against Hall and Travis as they dig the puck loose along behind the net. McNutt all over it. Now Delcourt with it. Delly with it. Deep in the corner. Pinned in there by Darcy Simon. Delcourt and Simon. Now McNutt takes it off of Hall's stick. Shoots, leaves it behind the net. Dean Ewan goes in and Delcourt upends Ewan. Now Spenrath takes a belt at Ewan. And here comes Dean Hall for Seattle. Hall trying to stick handle it out of his own end. Gets it into the neutral zone, and Krause is there to whack it back to Spenrath. Here comes Spenrath, 2-on-2. Spenner's shot wide of the net. Comes out to the point. To number 19, Dean Ewan. Ewan with it. Ewan across the blue line. You know who I haven't seen for a while is Ian McCammond. Back out to the blue line, intended for Malgunas. Delcourt stops the shot. Slid over to Ewan. They try to slide it back. Right to left to right. And now the puck shot out of play, and somebody gets a nice souvenir. Those are the kinds you catch, is when they go straight up in the air and come back
those
down.
are the ones you don't want to miss.
11:13 to go in the second period. Kirk Williamson along with Ole the goalie. Olaf Kolzig joining us tonight, waiting for that right knee to heal a little bit more following arthroscopic knee surgery. Now we're going to have another one as Kraus and Dumas go at it. Kraus takes his helmet off, throws it at Robert Dumas. That might be a good one, Ole. Dumas leaving one glove on. Dumas 5'11", 200. Kraus 6'2", 220. And Kraus is just pounding on Dumas. He's getting some good hits on Robert Dumas.
I think Dumas has a broken hand. That's why he's wearing the glove.
Well, and Rob Kraus really has taken the measure of Robert Dumas in this one. He's got his jersey half off, dragging him down onto the ice. Still, there's a shot.
Nice shot.
And a pretty good tackle by the linesman to keep Krause from doing any more damage.
Krause's pretty upset.
I don't know what started that one, do you?
I imagine Dumas took a cheap shot. He's known for that.
Well, Dumas being escorted from the game. Krause going to the penalty box. We'll wait just a second to get the announcement from public address announcer Kevin Gallant tonight. Kraus and Robert Dumas. Dumas, an 8th round pick of Calgary, picked in 1987. And Kraus, a 4th round pick of the Washington Capitals.
It looks to me like they got 10-minute misconducts here if Kraus is going to the dressing room.
Here's the announcement.
Rob Kraus, and to the Seattle Thunderbirds number 26, Robert Dumas, each 5 minutes for fighting and a 10-minute misconduct. Yep. Time of the penalties, 8 minutes and 47 seconds. That's Kraus and Dumas, 5 for fighting and 10-minute misconducts at 8:47.
Well, that'll be the end of those two for the rest of the period anyway, giving them both a chance to go to the dressing room and cool their jets. Steve Jakes over.
There's been an additional penalty cast out to number 2 of the Tri-City Americans, Rob Kraus, an additional 10-minute misconduct.
And that was for throwing his helmet at Dumas before the fight. So Robbie's got 2 10s and a 5, so he'll be out for probably the rest of the game.
But in this situation, neither team has penalized a player, as the misconduct penalties all assessed against the individuals.
But that'll hurt our team more than theirs. I mean, there's no contest. Kraus is a better player than Dumas, and he's one of our stronger defensemen. And you know, Seattle's tough in front of the net. We need somebody to move those players out, so he'll be missed.
Face-off will be Rennie against Goodall. Puck's down. Rennie wins it. Gets it to Jakes. Jakes back to Rennie. They shoot it into neutral ice. All the way down into the Seattle end. Puck played off of Kwiatkowski's skate. Now Rennie has it. Rennie just upended from behind.
That should have been 2.
Goodall. And Kwiatkowski in there to have a word with Goodall about it. And now more yapping goes on. And now we're going to have another one. Kwiatkowski and Stark.
Kiwi's not known for his fighting either, but I believe he's probably one of the strongest guys in the league.
He is very strong.
Oh, nice punch.
And he's tall. Stark 6'2", 202. Kwiatkowski 6'2", about 200. Now they go down. Kwiatkowski on top. He'd still like a little bit more of Jay Stark.
That was pretty even, that one. Not too many punches thrown.
Kwiatkowski and Stark will be checking out briefly. That coming at 8:59. You know, I think we've been talking about that line brawl the other night, Ole, and I said early in that game when the linesmen were so quick to break up the one-on-one fights that they were just sort of setting the stage for there to be a line brawl or a bench clearer before that game was over, because guys were getting more and more frustrated.
They were, and you know, Regina was extremely frustrated. 3 goals in 2 minutes is enough to frustrate any team.
Sure.
And you know, it was too bad what they did, because I think that didn't show any class in Regina's part. They're usually a classy team. You know, the linesmen did a hell of a job that game, and there's not much they could have done for that line brawl except let it be fought out.
Do you think it would have happened if there had been maybe a little bit of steam let off earlier in the game?
No, I don't think so, because you know, up till that point, Regina, you know, was in control of the game, and 3 goals in 2 minutes. You know, the coach, your coach must be wondering what's going on, and the players must be wondering. So, I think it all built up there in the last 2 minutes, and they let it off.
Now Goodall being chased out of the face-off circle, and it'll be Barnes against Schneider. Barnes winning the draw. Barnes to Jakes. Jakes ahead to Stu Barnes. Here comes Barnes. Barnes slides it into the slot. A chip shot taken by LeBrun, but it's just wide of the net. They go around. Malone keeping it in play. Now Seattle dumping it down the ice. Jakes back for it. Jakes leaves it behind, but Goodall is there. Goodall for Seattle. Goodall checked off of it by Duval. Puck went high in the air. Now goes down into the corner. Off the stick is Stevenson. Back in it for it is Jakes for the Americans. Around to Malone. He leaves it for Barnes. Here comes Barnes and LeBrun. 2-on-2. And offsides is LeBrun getting in a little bit ahead of Stu Barnes.
Yeah, Stewie hesitated there to go in, causing Sean to go in ahead of him.
That's the kind of thing that makes you want to scream when you have a...
Well, usually those two, you know, they communicate pretty good. That was one of the rare times where they did screw up, but usually, you know, you never see those guys screwing up at all.
Don't do that very much. 2-1 the score. The Americans leading the Seattle Thunderbirds midway in the second period here at Tri-Cities Coliseum. Draw won by the Americans goes to Scherstenka. He dumps it in behind the Seattle net. In after it is Simon, and he takes a big hit from McNutt. Puck tied up along the boards. Tri-Cities trying to keep it in play. Goes back to Scherstenka. Back at neutral ice to Kutowicz. Kutowicz shooting it into the corner. Whips all the way around behind the Seattle net. Lorenz leaving it behind for Travis. And Seattle dumps it back into the Tri-Cities end. Goes in behind the net. Kutowicz will touch it for icing. In a hurry was Brad Zavisha, but Cutter got to it first. 9:59 to play in the second period here at Tri-Cities Coliseum. Kind of a smaller crowd tonight and a bit quieter.
Well, I'm kind of surprised. I thought for sure, you know, we'd at least 5,500, 6,000 here tonight, but, you know, it's Wednesday, and, you know, still the fans in Tri-Cities are great. You know, in a couple of years, this will definitely be the place to play hockey.
I was surprised to hear Barry Melrose say that the Seattle players like to play here.
I don't know. Maybe the crowd pumps them up. I don't know. I certainly wouldn't like to play here.
Well, they say it's not as noisy as Seattle, for example.
Well, that's because, you know, the crowd hasn't gotten into it heckling-wise, and, you know.
They will.
Next year, or maybe even later this season, that'll start to change.
Ewan whipping it around behind the net. In after it is Dean Hall. Hall with it. Comes down 1-on-2. Tried to center it. Blocked away once. Hall getting it back. Tri-City Americans stealing it away. 3-on-2. Here comes Barnes with LeBrun and Malone. Malone one time, and it's blocked by Lorenz.
I'm surprised Lorenz is still standing after that shot. What a bullet.
Right over to Frank Malone. He drilled it.
He's hurt. Lorenz is hurt. He felt that one.
Yeah, he sure did. Now, goalie has pads. He took that right in the chest. You have chest pads.
Oh, yeah, you have chest pads, but with a bullet like that, anything will go through.
That was a big shot from about 25 feet away.
The only reason you have pads is to keep the bruises from getting any bigger. Goalies do get bruises, believe me, but thank God for the chest pad.
That was a big hit. McNutt will face off for the Americans against Goodall. Face off won by Seattle. It goes to Malgunas. Stewart around behind the Seattle net. Stewart, Malgunas shoots a pass ahead, stolen by Jakes. Jakes and McNutt doing the work on that one. Big hit by Spenrath. Puck's loose at center ice. Stewart, Malgunas, and Delcourt digging away for it as Spenrath goes in after it. Still the puck's loose. Slides out now to number 8, Tom Sprague. Shot into the Tri-Cities end. Cross in front of the net. Jakes goes in after it. Jakes taking a hit. Puck's loose along the boards. Goodall and Delcourt. Now McNutt wheels in to get it. McNutt shoots a pass out to Spenrath. Spenrath cut off and loses it to Sprague. And we'll have an offside call against Seattle, I believe.
That's what the call is, yeah.
Face-off will come just outside the Tri-City blue line. 2-1. The Tri-City Americans leading the Seattle Thunderbirds here at Tri-Cities Coliseum. Kirk Williamson along with Olaf Kolzik, a Tri-Cities goalie who's still mending a little bit. This is interesting to watch this line. Sen, Dirksen, and Fry for the Americans, along with Jakes and Duval Now Sen to take the draw. Goes to Dirksen. Dirksen whacks it back into neutral ice, but Seattle controls it around behind the net. Ferland leaving it for Jakes. They shoot it along the boards out to Fry. Right back out to the point. Simon losing it, but he shoots it back in behind the Tri-Cities net.
That looked offside to me.
Jakes has it taken off his stick by Zavisha. Zavisha wrapping around out to the point now. Travis a drive blocked by Ferland. Duval banging it off the glass and back into neutral zone to Darcy Simon, and a whistle.
I believe Gervais got it for interference.
Will be called against Seattle. It is Victor Gervais.
I think he ran into Frank there while the shot was being taken.
Frank took a little bit of abuse down there on that.
Yeah, but
play.
Frank's tough. Frank can take it. I was kind of hoping to see him tangle with Houck the other night.
Yeah, they kind of skated out and grabbed onto each other, and I have the feeling now Frank's the elder of the two, and I have a feeling that Frank
used a little of his university psychology on him.
Could be. I think he probably painted a little picture for him of what would happen if Houck really wanted to fight.
Yeah.
Face-off won by the Americans. Barnes to Jakes from LeBrun. Jakes with it. Shoots it ahead. Americans on the power play. They're second of the night. As the penalty to Gervais. Puck goes in behind the Seattle net. Played out by Lorenz, but right out to Steve Rennie as they dig the puck loose along the net. Now Calvin Nibbs with it, and they lose it back into neutral ice. Back forward is LeBrun. Here comes Schneider in a hurry, though. LeBrun's going to need some help. LeBrun wheels around behind the net. Sean LeBrun will reset the rush for the Americans. Leaves the puck for Calvin Nibbs. Nibbs ahead to Barnes. Here comes Barnes. Stu Barnes across the blue line. Barnes pulls up at the point. Leaves it behind for Nibbs. Puck right back out to the point. LeBrun whacks it in behind the net. Rennie going in after it. Now Seattle out to LeBrun. LeBrun gloves it at the blue line. Almost loses it. Now Jakes loses it into neutral ice. Jakes had to save it there. Gets it ahead to Nibbs. Nibbs breaks in for the Americans. Nibbs to the right of the net. Back out front to Jakes. Jakes wheels it over to Nibbs. Calvin one time, and it's just wide of the net.
Just missed.
And he's got a big hard shot too.
Oh yeah, he's one of the few guys on the team that gives me those bruises.
And the puck comes out to neutral ice, chopped back into the Tri-City end. 37 seconds remaining in the power play. Spenrath behind the back pass intended for McNutt. Or for McNutt. He can't get it. LeBrun has to play it all the way around the boards. Comes to Spenrath. Spenrath taking a hit there from McCammond. Back to Spenrath it goes from McNutt. Spenrath across neutral ice. Dumps it into the Seattle end. 16 seconds remaining on the penalty. Back for it is Shannon Travis. Being dug for by McNutt. McNutt takes it off of Travis's stick. Back out front to LeBrun. LeBrun over to Barnes. Barnes out to Jakes. Jakes slides it down the slot, and it's wide of the net. Back in for it is Spenrath. Leaves it for Delcourt. Delcourt back to Jakes. Jakes takes a hit from Gervais. Penalty is over. Americans 0 for 2 on the power play. LeBrun trying to get it to McNutt. McNutt is upended by Darcy Simon. Now Spenrath bangs away on Tom Sprague. Puck shot back into the Seattle end. Whipped around the boards to Gervais. Gervais taking a hit from Delcourt. Now Seattle shooting it into the Tri-Cities end. Back for it is Scherstenka. Dan Scherstenka off the boards and ahead to Trevor Sen. Sen with it across the blue line. Fakes the shot. Takes it all the way around behind the net. Trevor Sen tried to center it for Delcourt. Puck's loose. Delcourt a shot.
Good save.
Blocked by Lorenz. Here comes Seattle. Tom Sprague. Sprague goes right to Dean Hall. Hall with it across the blue line for Seattle. Hall has it stick checked away. Now he's to take it into the corner. Hall with it wrapping around the net. Good defensive work by Shane Cole to clear people out from in front of Frank Ferland. They get it around in the corner to Dean Ewan. Off of Ewan's stick. Loose in the corner, and now Hall falls on it. And we'll get the puck frozen right there.
Well, Lorenz hasn't been too busy this period, but the few shots that he has had, you know, he's had to be sharp on them. I mean, the backhand's one of the hardest shots to stop for a goaltender. He was right there.
5:13 to go in the second period. The momentum, if there is any right now, seems to be sort of flowing back and forth.
It's flowing back and forth. You know, we don't have as much pressure this period on Seattle, but then again, neither do they. So, you know, it's kind of balancing out.
5:13 to go in the second period. The Americans leading 2-1 over the Seattle Thunderbirds. Rennie and Gervais On the face-off, won by Seattle. A shot blocked by Furlan.
Good save,
Another
good
shot
save.
blocked by Furlan. To the right, a shot. Furlan blocks it. Goes into the corner, and now Seattle scores. They got it out, and Furlan is not a happy person.
Well, I don't think I would be either. He made two excellent saves there. You know, puck should have been out right there. No matter icing or whatever, you get that puck out after the goalie makes two great saves like that. Let him settle down and get ready again.
And the puck fell right down in front of the net again, and Seattle took another whack at it and got it to go.
Thunderbird's second goal of the game.
Can't blame Frank on that one.
Season scored by number 13, Victor Gervais. The assist to number 22, Kevin Malgunas, and to number 18, Brad Zavishaw.
Malgunas and Zavisha.
That's Gervais from Kevin Malgunas and Zavishaw at
14:59, the time of the goal. On the face-off, puck shot back into the Tri-Cities end. Duval goes after it. Gets it out now to Malone. Puck's loose along the boards. Malone digging with it. Digging for it along with Seattle. Gervais in after it. Jakes has it behind the net. Out to the point. Stark whips it in behind the net, and it was played off a high stick. Furlan comes out and looks Zavisha right in the eye. And Murray Duval over very quickly to get between Zavisha and Furlan.
That's one thing you don't want to have is one of the opposition's forward standing right in front of the goaltender. You know, if I was the opposition, I wouldn't do that because I'd be afraid I'd be put on my butt by a defenseman.
It is Barnes to face off against Goodall. Face off won by Barnes to Jakes. Jakes along the boards, but comes out to Seattle. Shot wide of the net from the point. They get it out to the left point now. Sprague trying to shoot it. It's covered by Barnes. Barnes stealing it back into neutral ice. But all the way down the length of the ice, in after it quickly, is Darcy Simon. Simon for Seattle turns around, whips it along the boards to Turner Stevenson. Stevenson just upends Frank Malone. Malone gets the puck back to LeBrun. They tried to get it to Malone in the slot. Out to Jakes. Jakes slides it down to Malone.
Finally.
It'll be...
I think it was Malone on the deflection.
I think it was too. Malone, LeBrun, and Jakes will get assists.
Rarely have I seen this year where we've scored on a deflection. That's the first time, I think, first or second time where we've scored on a deflection.
Yeah, it hasn't happened very often.
No, like I said, you get a guy in front of the goaltender, and it's very hard to stop.
3-2, the Americans lead. And let's see what the official call is. The off-ice officials communicating very quickly here.
Also goes to prove that you don't need a bullet to score. That was a
very
soft
that was
shot. I could have read the label on the puck of that shot.
Well, you hear the announcement. Puck goes in behind the net. Assists go to Jakes. Jakes and LeBrun on the assist. Puck comes ahead for the Americans to Delcourt. Spenrath with it as they scramble for it in neutral ice. Now Delcourt takes it in behind the Seattle net. Americans lead 3-2. After Seattle tied it up, the Americans scoring very, very quickly, coming at 15:53, about a minute and 3 seconds later. Now Spenrath with it. Chopped back out to Scherstenka. Dan shoots in front of the net. Delcourt tried to kick it in and wouldn't go. Puck's loose out at the point. Malone, as it's shot out of play, right up over the glass.
Bet you that woke him up pretty quick.
Lucky fan. There are some guys who got woke up right down there on that play.
Well, it looks like the momentum's coming back to us after that goal. We're starting to force a little more.
Yeah, now they've started the wave in the Coliseum. That wave really got people pumped up the other night.
Oh, it has every time they've done it. It'd be surprising to see if we do it again.
Now you hear it come back. It goes around the Coliseum. Just about everybody in it now. Even people up in the private boxes are jumping up. Just outside the Seattle blue line on the face-up. Scramble for the puck. Loose. Now Seattle has it. Here come the Thunderbirds 3-on-2. Gervais feeds the pass left. Zavisha shot blocked by Furlan. And it goes to the right of the net. Off into the corner. Kwiatkowski in after it. He takes a big hit, but he gets it out to Duval. Murray Duval playing as a defenseman tonight for the Americans. And now Nibbs with it. Nibbs, a big drive wide of the net. Good block there by Lorenz as he deflected it into the boards. Now Seattle coming back. The referee gets knocked down by somebody, and the puck goes left to right across the net. Now across the ice. Jakeson Malgunas on the hammer. Kwiatkowski, a big drive. Taken on the shin pads by Lorenz. Out to Murray Duval. Duval couldn't get wood on the puck. Shot back into the Tri-Cities end. Jakeson Gervais in after it. Shoveled back along the boards now as they try to dig it out. Murray Duval along with Zavisha and Calvin Nibbs. They get a scrum started over there along the boards.
Another guy you haven't seen on the ice for a while is Ewan.
That's true.
You see him sitting on the bench there, and Melrose not giving him any pat on the back, so I guess, I don't know, he must not be doing his job, but I bet Ewan's been the surprise for Seattle this year. I think they acquired him mostly for his toughness, and here he is, you know, he's 21 points, you know.
Yeah, he's got 10 goals, 11 assists,
147 penalty minutes.
He's been a busy young man. A drive from the point on the face-off. Went to the right side, and Jay Stark loaded the cannon. Frank Ferlin blocking it. Puck loose along the boards as Shane Cole takes a whack now at Gertzen. Puck, they tried to slide it in front of the net. Comes out along the boards to Scherstenka. He puts a pop on Schneider to Malone. Frank Malone across the blue line, slides it in front of the net. And Lorenz in after it, around behind the net now. Seattle with it, behind their own net. Glenn Goodall to bring it out. Goodall gets it into neutral ice, and it goes right by everyone. Ferlin will play it out. Almost knocked down to Seattle in a shift change. Taken instead by Delcourt. Delcourt 2-on-2. He'll pull up short, looking for Barnes. Behind the back pass to Barnes. Barnes is checked off of it. Shot back into neutral ice by Seattle. Backboard goes Shane Cole. Cole in a foot race with Vallis. Cole flips it out off the boards, but it comes right out now to Hall in the slot to Dean Ewan, right out in front of the net. Blocked by Ferlin, comes out to Travis. Travis a drive, giving up the body of Shane Cole. Cole is hurt, and that'll stop the play right there as Shane Cole came out and saved that one, but he took it right on the button, and now Ferlin is out to take a look at Shane Cole, and here comes Jim Craig. Well, they attend to Shane Cole, who went down hard on the ice. We'll take timeout, 30 seconds on this KOTY Americans hockey broadcast. Back at Tri-City Coliseum, Kirk Williamson along with Olaf Kolzig, and Shane Cole doing the thing that endears a player to a goalie probably more than anything, and that is smothering that big shot out at the blue line with his body. It looks like he might have gotten a shin.
You got to be tough to do that. Shane certainly is tough. One guy I'd like to really, comment on is Jim Craig. He's a heck of a guy. You know, if it wasn't for him, I'd probably still be on crutches and at home right now. But he's one heck of a trainer. He makes you work hard, and at the end, you can't pat the guy on the back enough. He's done so much for the whole team.
He does a lot for morale too, doesn't he?
Oh, he does too. He's the biggest jokester in the dressing room.
As they on the face-off, puck goes into neutral ice. Delcourt with it. Now Seattle takes it away. It goes to Dean Ewan. Here comes Ewan. 3-on-2. Ewan leaving it behind for Hall. Has it taken away by Delcourt. Back into neutral ice. McNutt chases in after it. It goes to Jakes. Jakes ahead to Delcourt. Here comes Delcourt. 3 on everybody. They get it into the Seattle end. Delcourt takes a hit and it chops along the boards. And Shannon Travis just got that big elbow up and took Delcourt right in the nose.
Kind of makes you wonder how Dean Ewan has 21 points. He has 147 penalty minutes. Like, when does he have enough time to be on the ice to get a point? That's what confuses me.
Good point. 3-2. Tri-Cities leading Seattle. Crowd tonight starting to get pumped up and into it. Hey, well, you've had a chance to sort of be a spectator. Have you had a chance to try some of the food here in the Coliseum?
Yeah, actually not tonight, but the Mexican food here is great. The Greek food's not bad, and certainly the Chinese food is always good.
Well, and I enjoyed a CD's barbecue here as Barnes steals the puck. Barnes taking it in on Lorenz, and a stick save. Chopped right up to Barnes, though. He gets it right back to the slot to Scherstenka. Blocked. Barnes loses it now to Gervais. Here comes Victor Gervais. 2-on-3. Gervais leaving it behind. Centered. A shot wide of the net. Gervais. Seattle racing right in. Kevin Malgunas and Gervais. Puck goes to Barnes. Stewie with it across the blue line. Checked off the puck, tried to center it, but nobody home. LeBrun couldn't get to it. Out to Scherstenka. Scherstenka tried to shoot it in, can't do it. Now Kwiatkowski a drive, and it's just wide of the net. And the puck as time runs out, as the puck goes straight up off the ice.
Stu Barnes can turn the best defenseman into pretzels, as he did right there. He just went around Malgunas like he wasn't even there.
At the end of the second period, it's Tri-Cities 3, Seattle 2. We'll be back in 1 minute, or in 2 minutes, on this KOTY Americans hockey broadcast.
Second period, giving them a total now of 23. Seattle took 14 shots upon Frank Furlan, and they have 21 total, 23-21.
And we're getting ready for the face-off. It will be number 16 Hall against number 15 McNutt. McNutt winning the draw. Spenrath to Duval. Duval goes right now to Jakes. Jakes to Delcourt to Spenrath. He kicks it behind him for Duval. Duval shooting it along the boards to McNutt. Now Duval once again getting it across the blue line, but Seattle there to stop it. Travis back into neutral ice. Scramble for it. Seattle has it. Jay Stark. Stark loses it to Delcourt. Delcourt gets hammered by Stark. And we're back into the Seattle end. Puck loose at neutral ice. Seattle trying to get it out. Both teams at equal strength. Here comes Shannon Travis. Travis whipping it into the Tri-Cities end. Furlan leaving it behind the net. They get it out to Delcourt. Delhi ahead to Spenrath. 3-on-2. Spenrath with McNutt. A big drive by Spenrath. Hits the glass. Spenner has it again. Back down low along the boards. Now Duval shooting it in behind the net, where Lorenz will leave it behind for Darcy Simon. Simon fans on the puck, but it slides over to Ewan. Ewan's pass knocked away, but Vallis has it. Lindsay Vallis goes right. His pass stolen away by Duval. Murray Duval getting it up to the Seattle blue line, but the Thunderbirds have it back again. Zavish beating it left. Gervais, a shot wide of the net. All the way around to the point. Another drive, and Furlan falls on it. Great play by Frank Furlan, as Shane Cole comes in to kind of save Furlan from further abuse, as Seattle had a couple of guys cruising right in on top of Frank Furlan.
And first off, Victor Gervais took a shot from over on the side, just barely missed Frank Furlan there, and on the rebound, Darcy Simon let a wrist shot fly from the point, and Frank Furlan right there to cover it up. We're going to have a face-off right now.
Face-off to the left of the net. It'll be Barnes against number 13, Gervais. Now Barnes being chased, and LeBrun will step in. LeBrun, Barnes, and Malone for the Tri-Cities. Puck is down. Face-off won by LeBrun. Here comes Brunner. LeBrun with Barnes. Slides a pass for Barnes. Barnes can't get to it. Seattle stealing it back. Here come the Thunderbirds. Malgunas, a big drive from out at the blue line. Gloved by Furlan. Left behind for Shane Cole. Cole with it. Shoots it ahead along the boards. Comes out to Malgunas. Malgunas shooting it back to the Tri-Cities blue line, and offside called against Seattle.
You know, one thing I do like about the Tri-City fans here is that Frank Furlan made a relatively easy save there off to his left-hand side, yet the fans stood up and gave him a cheer.
3-2 the score. Well, that's one thing I like about American hockey fans in general as opposed to the Canadians. You find a lot of the Canadian hockey fans sort of sit on their hands. It's like, oh yeah, well, we invented this game. We've seen it all before. Barnes against Goodall. Goodall wins the draw. Goes to Stark. Stark slides it in on Furlan. Furlan deflecting it into the corner. Out to Cole. To Barnes. Taken away in the slot. Gertson. And he loses it to Shane Cole. Barnes. Here comes Barnes and LeBrun. Barnes getting it into the Seattle zone. Down into the corner. In after it is Jay Stark. Now it's dug off the boards by LeBrun. LeBrun's pass goes bad. Gertson there. Gertson bringing it up. Sherstanka on it. Gertson shooting it in behind the Tri-Cities net. Furlan behind the net looking for it. Centered back out to the point. Now it goes to Sprague. Sprague shot blocked, and Furlan leaves it behind the net. Sherstanka in after it. Dan Sherstanka for the Americans ties up his man, and Barnes gets the puck. Here comes Barnes. Barnes and LeBrun. You hear the fans hollering "Stew" as Barnes gets across the blue line. Kwiatkowski taking a whack at it. Now Barnes sliding it in on Lorenz. Puck chopped across the slot. Gloved and knocked down by Kwiatkowski. Kwiatkowski tied up by Seattle, and the puck goes loose along the point. Now here comes Dean Ewan. Ewan with it for the Thunderbirds. Gives it up to Dirksen, and here's Jakes with it. Jakes back to LeBrun. LeBrun to Barnes across the blue line. Barnes with it. Barnes at the point. being tied up from behind. Darcy Simon all over him. They whip it in behind the net, and Barnes goes after it. Stu Barnes chipping it along the dasher board. Goes in behind the net. Kwiatkowski with it. Slides a pass out front, and Seattle will ice it. All the way the length of the ice, and as soon as Dirksen touches it, we'll have an icing call.
Dean Hall decided to take that pass and throw it the length of the ice to give Danny Lorenz a chance to take a breather for just a moment. The Americans down here in the attack zone doing a great job of forechecking and giving Danny Lorenz some fits here early.
Yep, they've been doing it to Danny Lorenz. Our guest on the penalty box show tonight will be... Of course, you had to know I wouldn't be able to tell you right off the...
I think Kiwi is the...
no, it isn't Kiwi. He was the other night. We'll have to wait and find out with everybody together, I guess.
Yeah.
A drive by Dirksen from the point. Blocked by Lorenz. Centered once again. It goes into the corner. Tri-Cities with it. They try to center it again. Puck in the air over the net. Whipped around the corner. Out to Dirksen. Dirksen playing out at the point. Calvin Nibbs. A right shot. Blocked by Lorenz. Rebound comes down in the slot. Nibbs steals it away. Now it's shot into neutral ice. Dirksen will go back for it. Devin playing a defense position tonight. He can play both, a wing or a defenseman. Out to Calvin Nibbs. Shot into the neutral ice area where Rennie has it. Now it's drawn loose by Seattle. Kwiatkowski to Rennie. Dogger trying to beat his man across the blue line. Can't, but it's knocked in by Nibbs. Back toward the Seattle goal. In after it is Jay Stark. Stark, and it's shoveled into the neutral area. Back for it is Dirksen. Devin Dirksen keeping it in play to Jakes. To Kwiatkowski. Kiwi airs it now into the Seattle end. Lorenz goes down to his knees and takes a short hop and leaves it out into the corner. Puck shot ahead now to Vallis. Vallis getting it to Dean Hall, and a shot from the left side. Blocked by Ferland. Big block by Ferland. Back into neutral ice. Back for it is Gervais. Victor Gervais right through the goalie's crease. Wristed along the boards. Left behind. Shane Cole tried to get it, couldn't. And back for it is Scherstenka. Scherstenka shooting at the length of the ice. Goes in behind the Seattle net. Tom Sprague will go back to get it for Seattle. Very few penalties or power plays in this game. Very few. Puck's tied up along the net. Zavisha working against Delcourt. Now Delhi has it. Dumps it into the corner for McNutt. McNutt in after it. McNutt working against Tom Sprague. Puck's loose. Delcourt back out to Shane Cole at the point. Cole shoots it in behind the net. There's Delcourt trying to get it to McNutt. Spenrath stops it as McNutt couldn't get to it. Spenner shoots it back into the corner. Delcourt and McNutt go after it. Here's Nutter. Nutter goes in and loses the puck. Has it knocked away by Hall or by Zavisha. Zavisha goes to Stevenson. Stevenson in behind Ferland, and Ferland blocked it. Great job by Frank Ferland. What a job by Ferland and Shane Cole. Puck dumped into the Tri-Cities end. Scherstenka back for it. Shoots at the length of the ice, and it will be played by Danny Lorenz. Lorenz leaving it behind for Travis. Travis shoots it ahead to Schneider. Schneider with it into neutral ice. Seattle with it. They get it ahead now to Schneider, and he's checked off the puck by the Americans. LeBrun. In after it is Duval. Jakes takes a hit, and we have a whistle.
I think we're going to have a penalty on Murray Duval, I believe.
I think it'll go against Duval, too. He just...
High sticking.
He took a chunk out of number 10, Glenn Goodall.
Penalty to number 11, Murray Duval. 2 minutes for high sticking. The time of the penalty, 5.
You know about Glenn Goodall, he has been in this league, the WHL, for 5 years, and he's only 18 years old. He started out when he was 13 years old in the WHL.
An amazing hockey player. Murray Duval, a second-round pick of the New York Rangers last year. His first year of eligibility for the draft. Face-off will come to the right of Ferland the Magician in the Tri-Cities end. Barnes against Goodall. Power play for Seattle. I believe this will be their third of the game. On the face-off, a shot wristed around behind the net. Dirksen putting a great hit on Hall. In after it is Dean Ewan. Ewan out to Hall, to the point now to Malgunas. Malgunas back to Hall. They slide it to Ewan. Ewan has it checked away by Jakes. Ewan has it stolen away. Here comes Barnes. Barnes and LeBrun. Barnes beats his man but loses the puck to Ewan. Ewan whips around behind his net. Here comes Dean Ewan. Wheeling up the left side now. Ewan takes a hit, big hit by Jakes. Jakes and Barnes dig for the puck. Hall has it. Dean Hall wraps around behind the net. Shane Cole pops Hall. Puck comes out to the left point. Back to Dumas. Dumas left to Goodall. Goodall has it stolen away by Rennie. Rennie and Barnes, and Rennie dumping it into the Seattle end. Back for it is Malgunas. Tri-Cities in a shift change. Minute 4 to go in the power play. For Seattle, they're third. They're offered so far tonight. Puck comes ahead to Vallis. Lindsay Vallis takes a hit from Rennie. They get it to Malgunas. Stuart Malgunas across the center ice area. Whips it around behind the net. Ferland leaves it behind. Ferland waits till the last second and then whips it out along the boards. Aired into neutral ice, and Seattle will have to chase it back. 40 seconds remaining in the power play.
Great penalty killing here.
It is indeed. Back for it is Dumas. Dumas feeds a pass on the left side to Schneider. Andrew Schneider coming in on Ferland, pulls up short. Back out to the point to Dumas, a drive. Ferland blocks it into the crowd.
And that was a great save again. Now, when you watch on defense and you see that the skater's going backwards, the rule of thumb is for a defensive man to stay a stick and a half length away from the guy with the puck. Shane Cole does that better than anybody I've seen. He is just right there within a stick and a half length.
Now Frank Ferland hollering it at the referee, hollered at the linesman. Now he's back over there yapping at the linesman. Now he's being directed. Both of them sort of basically point out to Frank where it is the crease is located. Frank is just about to buy one here. He is not a happy boy.
He's exercising a little bit, isn't he?
And now Goodall goes in to listen to what Ferland has to say to the referee, Dennis LaRue.
Steve Rennie is the penalty box guest at the end of the game, I found out.
Okay. Face-off. Won by Seattle. T-Birds have it. Out to the point. A drive wide of the net. Blocked by
Beautiful
Ferland.
save.
From Sprague. They get it out again. Another shot, and Ferland blocks it again. Rebound comes out in front. Kept in play by Seattle. Right out into the slot. Stolen away by Kwiatkowski. But taken right back from him by Sprague. Sprague with it at the point. Shoots it along the boards. Gloved by the Americans. Jakes. Jakes goes left to McNutt. Duval's out of the penalty box. 3-on-1. Kwiatkowski a drive. Rebound. Kwiatkowski has it. Tried to center it. Penalty coming up. It'll be a delayed penalty. And now the whistle blows to call the penalty. Duval getting right back into the play.
And I'll tell you something right there, Danny Lorenz made a very controlled save. Right on the other side of him, coming in very strong, was Murray Duval with a wide open net.
High sticks, 8:09 to go, or 8:09 into the period is the penalty. Seattle goes 0 for 3 on power plays. The Americans will get their third of the night as well. The Tri-Cities also... No, Seattle has 1 power play goal. I take that back. Their first power play resulted in a goal, so they are actually 1 for 3. Americans with it. They slide it into the crease, and it's knocked out of there by Seattle. Around behind the net, Jay Stark. Americans with the power play. Face-off came at the Seattle end. Puck shot the length of the ice. It'll go in behind the net, and Scherstenka in after it. Dan Scherstenka to reset the rush for the Americans. Gets it ahead to Barnes. Barnes with it. Quick pass across to Calvin Nibbs. Nibbs leaving it behind for Spinrath to LeBrun. LeBrun dumping it into the corner. Ooh, he took a hit from Shannon Travis. Puck in behind the net.
Oh, yeah.
And the goalie's down. The Americans, LeBrun to Barnes. Lorenz without his stick. Back up front to Scherstenka.
They got to do it here.
Back to Barnes. Something's got to happen. Barnes losing the puck to Dumas. Spinrath dives in after it, and he got the stick back. They had Lorenz without his stick. Back up front to Scherstenka. Drive in the slot, and it's blocked by Lorenz. Shot back into neutral ice by Seattle. A minute left. Ferland comes out in a hurry. Plays it to Scherstenka. The Americans need that pressure. Here comes Barnes. Barnes all by himself. Pulls up into point. Barnes. Oh, bad pass to LeBrun. But there to save it is Jakes. Jakes to Barnes. Barnes at the head of the slot. Barnes has his stick handled away from him by Seattle. That's Ian McCammond. McCammond dumps it into the Tri-Cities end. Goodall in after it, along with Jakes. Jakes working on Goodall. 33 seconds in the penalty. Here comes Barnes. How'd he get the puck? Barnes and Delcourt across the blue line, and we have a whistle. Delcourt was offside.
Just by a hair, too. That was very close. These linemen, the officials here tonight are calling a very good game.
10:18 to go, third period. Tri-Cities leading 3-2 over the Seattle Thunderbirds. 27 seconds remaining in the penalty to Glenn Goodall. Or it wasn't Goodall either. It was Dean Ewan.
And Dean Ewan, another penalty. That gives him well over 150 minutes of penalties this year alone.
Face-off just outside the Seattle blue line. It will be Goodall against Rennie. The linesman getting ready to drop. Now he sends Goodall out of there, and in will come Andrew Schneider.
Good. We need this whip face-off.
And Schneider wins the face-off. Seattle shooting it into the Tri-Cities end. Duval back forward in a hurry. Duval in behind the net. Ice flying everywhere as Duval comes to a stop, leaves the puck behind for Kwiatkowski. He gets it ahead to Rennie. Dogger losing it at neutral ice, but it goes right to Duval. Duval to Rennie. Rennie centers it for Kwiatkowski, and Kiwi can't handle a pass. They had Lorenz all spread out in the slot. Delcourt tried to get it back to Rennie. Rennie to Duval. Duval nailed from behind. And here comes Seattle. Schneider in a slot, a drive, but it's blocked into the corner by Jakes. Now Ewan in after it. Jakes takes it away from him. Here come the Americans, 4-on-3. Jakes across the blue line. Steve Jakes a shot, blocked by Lorenz. Loose puck in the slot, and it's frozen right there.
You know, most fans here in the Tri-Cities have seen football, and I think they might have called a clipping call on Dean Ewan for jumping out of the penalty box. And I think he just...
Boy, he leveled Rennie, didn't he?
He sure did, right in the back.
Dogger will be in the penalty box show at the end of the game. Young man they call Rune Dog. The official dispensary of nicknames on his team apparently is Sean LeBrun. And it was he that... put the handle Rundog on Steve Rennie. Face-off will be Dean Hall against Trevor Sand. Hall winning the draw. Seattle with it. Power play is over. The Americans coming up empty. Puck stolen away. A shot by Fry. Blocked. Another shot by Fry. Blocked. Rebound Ballas. Ballas with it, has it stolen by McNutt. McNutt taking a big hit there from Dumas. Fry getting a whack in on Dumas. Now Fry with the puck behind the net. Turns around. Shovels it across the crease. And they couldn't get the deflection. McNutt with it. Whips it around behind the boards. Puck loose at the boards, and Dean Ewan has it. Ewan out now to Hall. Hall with it across the blue line. Hall flipping it up into the crowd as he gets leveled. Oh, did Shane Cole put a hit on Dean Hall.
You know who's playing a great game tonight is number 15 for the Tri-City Americans, Mr. McNutt. I'm telling you. The
young man from Calgary, 5'11", 170 pounds.
He's sure doing a lot of things. Doing great checking, great passing, too. He's looking right in the middle tonight, and that's where it's supposed to be.
8:50 to go in the third period. Tri-Cities leading Seattle. LeBrun goes over and has a word with Rob Krause. Got Krause up there banging on the glass. I don't know what that's over.
Krauser's a little excited. He wants to get back out. He sat out a long time.
Probably went over there and said, I'm out here and you're in there. Neener. It'll be Barnes against Gervais on the face-off outside the Tri-Cities blue line. Barnes winning the draw to Duval. They get it to LeBrun. Puck's loose in neutral ice. Barnes and Gervais still scrambling for it. Gervais gets it and will have a whistle.
I think
it'll be an offside. Yep.
Yeah, offsides there. You know what that's called? There's a nickname for that. That's called a shinny, disorganized play.
Yeah, you got that right. Barnes and Gervais to face off. Victor Gervais, 5'9", 170 pounds. 40 points coming into tonight's game. And added a goal, so he has 17 goals on the night, on the season.
Nice pass.
Americans win the draw. Pass goes to Malone. Malone's shot smothered out front by Zavisha. Puck goes into the corner, back to Malone. It rebounded right in front of Lorenz, and we have a whistle.
Frank Malone coming in and scoring his very first goal. He's been off the ice for a couple weeks now, too. Getting a lot of playing time.
Malone played for, was in the Ontario League.
Bellevue, I believe.
Where he played with the Belleville Bulls. Then was traded to Gulf and declined to go to Gulf. And they're about third in the Ontario League right now.
Yeah.
But he declined to make the trip. and went home to sit. Now he's back here. He was in the Minnesota North Stars training camp this year.
Welcome addition to the Tri-City Americans.
Indeed. Goodall against Barnes. And Goodall wins the draw. 3-2 the score. Tri-City's leading. Pass into neutral ice. Furlan will let it go behind the net.
We might have an icing now.
Scramble for it. No, Goodall gets it, wraps around the net, and a shot blocked by Furlan. My goodness, what a job by Furlan, the magician. And he turns around and says, so take that, bucko. Oh, boy. What a job by Furlan.
The crescent and star hat.
Look at the scoreboard. It shows the goalie turning into a robber. Furlan certainly robbing Seattle on that one.
Several good shots by Seattle right there. Frank Furlan there to block every one.
Boy, did he come up big. Ooh. McNutt against Goodall. Be sure to stay tuned for our post-game show tonight. First guest will be Steve Rennie. Puck shot into the slot. And it's blocked out front. Spenrath with it. Shoots it into neutral ice. Stolen away. Delcourt in after it. But out comes
there's McNutt.
Lorenz, and McNutt keeps it in play for the Americans. Stark goes behind his net. Feeds a pass out quickly to Stevenson. Has it checked away by Spenrath. Now they get it into neutral ice. Comes to Schneider. Schneider goes right to Goodall. Back to Schneider and a give and go. Schneider in the slot. A shot taken there by Stevenson, and Furlan comes up big again. And Shane Cole extracted payment from Stevenson on that one. Spenrath dumps it in on Lorenz. Lorenz will leave it behind the net for Malgunas. Shane Cole made Stevenson go right up the glass and then drip onto the ice. Puck shot back into the Seattle end. Here's Spenrath. Spinner with it. Spinner drive. Blocked by Lorenz. Rebound taken by... No. Comes to Schersenka out at the point. He rolls one down, and Spenrath tried to get it. Delcourt dumps it into the corner. Around behind the net. Quick shift change for the Americans. Here comes Seattle. Dean Ewan. And we'll have a call. Delayed offsides, I believe. Schersenka in after it. Schersenka and Ewan. The puck shot out of play.
On that last shot down here at this end, Danny Lorenz came out with an angle. Now a goaltender's job is to cut the angles down, and Danny Lorenz came out and made a great angle stop right there. That's Olaf Kolzig would sure appreciate that.
3-2 the score. Tri-Cities leading. The Seattle Thunderbirds here at Tri-Cities Coliseum. Face-off will come just outside the Tri-Cities blue line. Rob Krause looks like he's chewed the end of that stick down about 6 inches, trying to get out of that penalty box.
I think they feed him bumpers for lunch.
He took a double 10-minute misconduct, and he's been cooling his jets for quite a while. Face-off won by the Americans. Jakes with it. Jakes feeds a pass left to Schersenka, head to Nibbs. Went right by Calvin Nibbs, and the Thunderbirds play it back into the Tri-Cities end. Back forward is Jakes. Americans sitting on a 1-goal lead. Out to Travis. Travis blasted back in along the boards. Jakes shooting it out on the dasher board all the way out to Dumas. Dumas taking a hit from Rennie. Dean Ewan with it. Ewan starts in behind the net. Has his stick handled away by the Americans. They shoot a pass back out to neutral ice, but Shannon Travis is there. Travis to Dumas. Dumas gets it ahead now. Good pass ahead to Dean Hall. Hall, head of the slot around the left side, shoots, and Jakes gives up the body to block it. Ewan with it. Trading slashes down there with Kwiatkowski. Now here comes Rennie. Rennie 1-on-2. Rennie tried to center it. Kwiatkowski, his drive is into the crowd, just over the glass.
A souvenir for the fan, and he's a happy camper, probably more scared than happy. Yeah, there he is. And the crowd loves it.
Good fan getting a good round of applause from the crowd here.
Isn't it amazing what adrenaline will do to you as far as pain goes?
Yeah, really, you'll feel that in the morning. 6:07 to go in the hockey game. 3-2, the Americans lead the Seattle Thunderbirds. Rob Krause is back on the ice.
Oh boy, the KK line. Krause and Cole.
And a shot taken right off the face-off. Not hard. Lorenz blocks it easily. Comes out along the boards. Pass stolen by Krause. Back forward is Gertzen. Gertzen with it for Seattle. Brings it across the blue line. Krause will pop him against the boards. Tries to get to the puck. It's loose at the blue line. Now here comes Shane Cole. Cole 3-on-2, and Cole whips it down into the Seattle end. LeBrun in after it. Pace Darcy Simon to the boards. What a hit on Simon.
And Simon's still down.
Simon really went hard, and they'll stop play as Darcy Simon got drilled by Sean LeBrun. And LeBrun sort of skating around there nonchalantly like, what happened?
Yeah, did I do that?
5:38 to go. 3-2, the Americans lead. We'll be back in 30 seconds on this KOTY Americans hockey broadcast. Down there along the glass in that corner, right below section S. And
I think it might be his knee. He's holding up his, looks like his right knee.
Yep.
And he might be going to the early shower right now.
Trainer Kurt Camp out on the ice to take a quick look at Darcy Simon.
And he's kind of going, come on, guys, I can do it.
Fry, LeBrun, and Barnes out there now for the Americans, along with Cole and Krause. And for Seattle, it's Goodall, along with Turner Stevenson. And check the line mate in a second here. Face off head of the circle to the right. Shot back into neutral ice. The other guy on that line was Schneider as the Americans go back for it. Krause losing it to Goodall, but shot back into neutral ice by the Americans. Back for it is Malgunas. 5:25 to play. Americans with a 1-goal lead. Puck taken off of the boards by Stark. Stark getting it to Schneider. To Goodall. Drive wide of the net. Rebound goes to Stevenson. Blocked. Checked into the boards by Krause. Now to LeBrun. LeBrun plays it ahead, intended for Barnes. Seattle with it. Shot back into the Tri-Cities end. Krause will run it down.
Line change for Seattle right now.
Out to LeBrun. LeBrun losing the pass, and Dean Ewan skates it away from him. Ewan shoots a pass left to Travis. Stolen by Jakes. Jakes for the Americans. Behind himself to Barnes. Barnes with it, a drive! Blocked by Lorenz. Barnes a quick slap shot from the right side. Sherstenka steals the puck, and it stays in play. Went right up on top of the glass. Back into neutral ice. Penrath over to Jakes. Jakesy with it. Knocked off of it by Ewan, but the Americans keeping it in that neutral zone. Seattle now taking it away. Pass goes right side to Vallis. Vallis starts down the slot, has it checked away. Out to Dumas, checked away by Sherstenka. Rebound comes down in front of the net. Here comes Tri-Cities. Sherstenka with Barnes. Over to Dan Sherstenka. Right side, and nobody home for the Americans. Back into neutral ice. Shot the length of the ice. Back for it will be Delcourt. Delcourt in along the boards as Sherstenka runs interference for him. Stolen away by Seattle's McCammon. Tried to center it for Dean Hall. Blocked away. Here come the Americans. Spinrath with McNutt. Spinrath shooting it into the Seattle end. McNutt going in, and a big hit on Malgunas. McNutt and Malgunas go slam bang along the boards. I don't know if we're going to have more activity down there than that or not. Jay Stark taking exception to the way McNutt went in there.
That's right.
Just because his knee hit Malgunas in the side of the head and pinned it to the boards probably doesn't mean much.
I don't think I'd get too upset about that.
Yeah. Time to go get the Tylenol, folks.
Boy, Coach Barry Melrose is flipping. Look at him.
He is really hot. And he's talking to Ian McCammon. He brings McCammon over, and I think basically says to McCammon, hey, we got to make some things happen here, boys. And McNutt will go off. Well, I thought he was going off the ice, but he's not. Well, we'll see how long it takes before somebody and McNutt tangle.
He's hot over there. Coach Melrose.
Oh, he is bouncing up and down. McNutt to take the faceoff against Gervais to the left of Frank Ferland. Puck is down. Gervais winning it. Ties up McNutt. Puck goes into the corner, but McNutt gets to the puck first. Shoots it along the boards and out of play. Just got it up a little high and ran out of glass there.
There's quite a few souvenirs out in the crowd tonight.
Yeah, there have been, and most of them have been soft enough that they aren't going to hurt anybody. 3:40 to go in the hockey game here at Tri-Cities Coliseum. 3-2, Americans leading Seattle.
Very first visit into this building.
The public address announcer Kevin Gallant talking.
They face off one by Tri-Cities. Dirksen with it behind the net. Leaves it out for McCammon. Out along the boards now to Malgunas. Scramble for the puck. A shot taken, blocked by Ferland. McCammon taking a kind of a spin around shot. Now the puck dumped into the Seattle end. Thunderbirds back for it. Back is Zavisha. Zavisha shooting it into neutral ice. McNutt almost broke up the play. Here comes McCammon. Gets it left to Zavisha. Centers it. Blocked away by the Americans. Furlan getting great help from the defenseman tonight.
Good play by Devin Dirksen.
Stark gets it to Gervais. Leaving it behind. Dumped into the corner by McCammond. Comes out to Nibs. Calvin shooting it along the boards. Quick shift change for the Americans. Here comes Jackson Scherstenka with Rennie, Kwiatkowski, and Nibs. Scherstenka stealing the puck. Has it knocked away from him by Goodall. Glenn Goodall across the blue line, and it's offside.
As I was saying earlier, Kevin Gallant was talking about the defending Western champions. Kamloops Blazers will be in this weekend.
Featuring the Cookie Monster and center iceman Phil Huber.
Those are Saturday and Sunday games. Get your tickets at the ticket office at 9 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Sunday. Open every day of the week. Don't want to miss that this weekend. Very good matchup.
Running against Goodall, Nibs and Kwiatkowski on the line. For Seattle, it's Stevenson and number 7, Schneider. On the draw, Seattle winning it. Goes left to Travis. Shannon Travis tied up in neutral ice. Now loses it to Duval. Murray Duval whips the puck off the boards. Stolen there by Turner Stevenson. Stevenson centers it, but Jakes is there. Jakes without his helmet. Puck comes back to Shannon Travis. Travis with it. Airs it into the Tri-City end. Knocked down by Duval. Wheeling in after it is Rennie. Rennie takes it down. Rennie, a big drive! Stick save by Lorenz. Puck stays in play. Out to Kwiatkowski. Kwiatkowski in the corner. Gets it to Nibs. Calvin Nibs back up front to Duval. Duval a drive. Blocked out front by Turner Stevenson. Now tied up in a corner. In after it is Nibs and Rennie. Rennie and Nibs along with Schneider and Shannon Travis as they scramble for the puck. Now dumped out there to Rennie. Rennie tried to center it. No one home. It comes out into neutral ice for Seattle. Stevenson ties up with Duval. Jakes is back for the puck. Steve Jakes ahead to LeBrun. LeBrun can't handle a pass. Dumas will chase it down for Seattle. LeBrun gives him a hit in the corner. Puck tied up as Dumas goes off his feet. Now Ewan in there to protect his teammate quickly. And LeBrun content to just tie it up. Minute 32 to play.
It's getting right down to it once again.
Coming up very shortly will be our guest color commentator program on KOTY on these hockey broadcasts. We'll be inviting someone from the community whose name is drawn from at random from entries placed at Chuck E. Cheese or at Dawson Richards. Go in and place your entry. We'll draw your name, and you'll have a chance to join us one night and be a guest color commentator on these hockey broadcasts.
That'll be fun.
It will indeed. Puck comes out to neutral ice on the faceoff. Back for it is Krause. 3-2. Americans lead. Minute 27 to play. And a whistle as we have an offsides. And the faceoff will come just outside the Tri-City blue line. Minute 24 to go in the hockey game. Again, Kevin Gallant will... well, now timeout being called by Seattle. Minute 24 to go. With timeout on the ice, we'll take timeout on this KOTY Americans hockey broadcast. 3-2 the score. Tri-City's leading the Seattle Thunderbirds. Barnes to face off against Goodall. Just inside the Americans' blue line. About 60 feet away from Furlan. Face-off won by the Americans. LeBrun shooting it into neutral ice. Back forward is Seattle. The Thunderbirds have pulled their goalie. Oh, would you like to get an empty net shot?
Here it is.
Shot wide of the net. In after it will be Rick Fry. Fry and Dumas chasing in after it. Now Goodall. Seattle pulled their goalie. They have 6 skaters to 5. Seattle getting it to Dean Hall. Hall shooting it in behind the net. Furlan will play it to Krause. Now Furlan has to come out and play it again. Out to LeBrun. Here comes Brunner. Brunner 3-on-2. Goes back along the boards, but it's left behind us. It's stolen by Gervais. Gervais to Goodall in the slot. Tri-City has it. Seattle has it in the slot. Hall has it knocked away. Travis 3-2. 40 seconds to go. A shot covered up by Furlan. And we have a Tri-Cities player shoved into the net.
Coach Barry Melrose right now is trying to take the chance. He's pacing behind his bench. He's going to take off his goalie and put on the extra attacker and hope to tie this game and send it into another overtime.
For Seattle, it's Travis, Gervais, Goodall, Dumas. Well, now they're going to have a line change as soon as I said that. And now the Americans ask for timeout. Each team, you think this is a tough man sport. Each team allowed one 30-second timeout.
Just enough to get the
39
water
seconds
going.
remaining. Yeah, let's just stay put here. Tony, the crowd's starting to hammer and pound their, stomp their feet, clap, and the noise level going up in here.
I think they may have heard Coach Barry Melrose comments before the game saying that this place wasn't loud enough.
Well, it's getting a little bit louder now.
Yeah.
As the Americans and the Seattle Thunderbirds, another one-goal game. I tell you, Barry Melrose goes crazy at the thought of one-goal games, and they've had a bundle of them. Well, Seattle's pulled their goalie. It's Lindsey Vallis with Gervais, Ewan, Dean Hall, Goodall, and Shannon Travis. Well, the Americans, Ferland remains in goal. Jakes and Krause, the D-men, and the line is LeBrun, Delcourt, and Spenrath. Now LeBrun comes off. Kwiatkowski goes on.
Now what Krause and Jakes are going to probably end up doing down here is they're going to try to keep the centermen from getting in Frank Ferland's way down here, because the shot probably is going to come from the point, and they're going to be looking for the tip-in. So watch for Krause and Jakes down there to be clearing out the traffic in front of Ferland so he gets a better shot.
Kwiatkowski against Goodall. 39 seconds remaining. Americans with a one-goal lead. All set. Puck is down. Face-off comes out into neutral ice, and Seattle will have to chase it down.
Best thing could have happened right there.
It sure is. 33 seconds remaining. Puck shot into the neutral zone. Almost stolen away. It is stolen away. Delcourt. Nope, Seattle will have it. Goodall. Goodall, a drive. Blocked by Ferland into the corner. Kwiatkowski in after, but it's whipped around behind the net. Puck centered and shot into neutral ice. Seattle will have to go back for it again. Shannon Travis back for it. Travis to Gervais. Gervais to Ewan. Ewan with it, shoots it up, checked away by Delcourt, but there's Goodall in the slot, goes to Dean Hall, right, 4 seconds, 3 in the corner, puck shot away, right across,
and there's the win.
Time runs out.
And the Tri-City Americans have beaten the Seattle Thunderbirds here tonight, 3-2.
What an exciting game. Only 6 power plays in the whole game. The Americans get 2 wins in a row for the second time, way back on that big long road trip. In fact, it was the day that the Delcourt-Duval trade was made. The Americans getting a pair of wins, beating Moose Jaw 6-2, and then turning around beating Regina the next night 6-3. And that's the last time the Americans had 2 in a row.
And now the new addition of Frank Malone coming on and getting his first goal. The Americans do it to it.
And win this one by a score of 3-2 over the Seattle Thunderbirds. We'll be back with a post-game show, including the penalty box show with Steve Rennie, in 2 minutes on this KOTY Americans hockey broadcast.
Barnes and LeBrun, they watched them tonight. I didn't see them particularly get a checking line out against them. I think they must have just told whoever was out against those guys to watch them a little bit. I thought Barnes's line got some very good chances. They missed capitalizing a couple of times, but they did a good job against them. Certainly McNutt's line. Steve McNutt played well, but the line of Spenrath, McNutt, and Delcourt. They certainly, I think, won the hockey game for us tonight. You know, not one line can win it, but I thought they led us to the victory. Every time they were on the ice, we had pressure. They must have spent half the time down below the goal. They kept working it. They kept working it. They didn't just throw it away. They kept waiting. Finally, a guy would open up in the slot. They'd get a shot, or the defenseman would get a shot. And very seldom when they were on the ice tonight did Seattle get any pressure on our end. They just did an outstanding job. And you know, it's the first game that they've played together. And I think that it might be the makings of one heck of a good line.
Well, and the addition of Frank Malone certainly was a positive thing as he moved into the line with Barnes and LeBrun.
Well, I wouldn't say he played outstanding tonight, and certainly I'm sure he'd agree. It's difficult walking into a new team. You don't know any of the players. Hockey's such a team sport that it takes some time to get, you know, to get the players to accept them and to him to feel comfortable. I'm sure he felt very uncomfortable, a lot of pressure. Of course, he comes in, he knows that we had to release a pretty popular hockey player in Trent Ketcher. There's a little pressure to perform there. Obviously, a big crowd here tonight. New new league, new rink, new everything. I mean, it just takes a while to get comfortable. But even with all that, you could see that he knows what to do with the puck. And the goal that he got, we didn't have a great amount of pressure, one shot, and he had the, he's got the smarts to get to the front of the net and get his stick on the puck. Something that good goal scorers can do. They don't need 15 chances to score. They just need a couple, and actually hit a couple other very good chances. So hopefully he can continue to chip in with those timely goals. Got the game winner tonight for us, and what a better way to start.
Indeed. John, just a quick look ahead at the Kamloops Blazers. They come in for a pair this weekend. They're sort of an unusual scheduling situation, and the Blazers gave you fits.
Well, they're a good hockey team. They've got one very good line, Chizowski, Huber, Needham, and then Brian Shantz, 4 very good forwards. They, quite frankly, I don't think that they have any better hockey team on paper than we do, but they're very well coached. You have to give Ken Hitchcock and his staff, Donnie Moore, Don Hay, they're the best coaching tandem that I've seen in junior hockey in a while, and they know how to win. They've got a lot of young players. I don't think they lose really anybody off their team for next year, and they're just playing great. But they have played very well at home. They haven't played that well on the road. They're a different hockey team in their rink than they are on the road, and I think we're going to surprise them here this weekend if we can continue to work on our forechecking. That first period tonight against Seattle was the best forechecking we've had yet this year. We just worked it to a T. Our defensemen were pinching, and we just had constant pressure. And now what we have to work on is 3 periods like that, and we'll be trying to do that Saturday night against Kamloops.
John Oliver, thank you very much for joining us. We'll take a brief break and be back to talk with Steve McNutt on tonight's Tri-City Americans hockey broadcast. That's right. They want to see you, not me. Don't worry about it.
All
right. Stand by. Stand by. Kirk Williamson along with Steve McNutt now. Steve, before tonight's game, the Seattle coach Barry Melrose told us that they were going to keep an eye on LeBrun and Barnes, and then Steve McNutt's line comes out there, and you get a goal right off the bat, first goal of the game, and then come right back and get an assist. You guys played very well.
Thanks a lot. I think the key to the game was just forechecking them, and that's all. Out-hitting them, out-playing them, and
you guys had the goalie Lorenz pretty rattled there at the end of the first period. It's too bad you didn't have another couple of minutes to really rattle him.
Yeah, we had the whole team on the run, I think, had him going. Sort of let up a bit in the second period, though, but I think we played a strong game overall.
Steve McNutt, great job. That's the first time you've been with Spenrath and Delcourt together on the same line, isn't it?
Yeah, it has been. They're both hard workers, and I don't know, I think all 3 of us work together. We just go out there and work real hard, and things happen.
Things certainly did happen. Steve McNutt, who got the first goal of the game and added an assist right away to give the Americans their first 2 goals of the game. Thank you very much for coming up to talk with us, and congratulations on a great game.
Thank you, Kurt.
And let's see if we can just bring the Magic Man himself in right now. Frank Furlan, have him join us, get the headset on. And Frank, looks like you had a couple of days of rest that really made you feel pretty good.
Well, a couple's putting it lightly. I had about 8 hours of rest. I had a half a day, but it didn't really make a difference. I thought I felt kind of shaky in the first period myself.
It didn't look shaky, though.
I thought it hurt me more than it helped me. You know, it didn't feel good on the ice. I asked the coach if I could take half the practice off, just come out, because I really don't like to take a day off of all the practice, because when you get back on your skates, feel funny. Everything feels funny, like you haven't been on them, like during the summer. But he said, nope, take the whole day. He actually wanted me to take yesterday off, too. And I said, that's too much for me. I just don't like to skate, that's all. I don't mind the shots.
You were looking a little bit over the weekend like maybe you were a little bit fatigued. You played every game now for a couple of weeks since Ole had the knee injury, and you looked really sharp tonight, like it was feeling pretty good. You blocked some big shots that came up real big in the second and third periods.
Well, In Kamloops and games prior to that, I don't think it was as much fatigue as physically as it was mentally. I mean, me and Ole go into every game thinking that basically we let in more than 2 and there's a good chance we're going to lose the game. And that takes its toll not only on myself and Ole, but any goalie who's got to face that kind of pressure. I mean, tonight, if I had let in 3 goals, there's a good chance we would have gone in overtime. Possibly we would have lost the game. You know, me and Ole both have to hold the games down to 2 goals and then let our offense try and muster up what we can, at least till now, until we get something really rolling.
It's nice to begin to see that start to change around as 3 goals in 2.5 minutes the other night. And as John Olver said, that's usually about 2.5 games worth. And then 3 goals tonight again, a couple of goals quick in the first period. That has to show flashes of maybe a team that's going to start to put some points on the board.
Well, you said it. They're flashes now. Do flashes turn into lightning? Or I hope it does sooner or later. I mean, the 3 goals is great, and the fact that we got 2 right off the bat made it better because it puts the pressure on the other team. They start to force it a little bit too much. But I mean, if you saw us in the second and third, and we were kind of on the borderline whether we were going to win or not, you know, and that's got to change. We got to come out. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a little lapse. I mean, even the best have lapses during the game, but we've got to cut it down to about 5, 6, 7 minutes a period, preferably just 1 period, and then go from there.
Yeah, Frank, in the I believe it was the 3rd period, there was an occasion when you came out of the crease and the play stopped and came over and talked to the referee rather vigorously, and then went and had a few words with one of the linesmen. And what was that situation all about?
Well, what happened there is that the Seattle player was standing in front of me, and he directed the puck into the stands. And when the opposition is the last person to touch the puck automatically has to be faced off outside the defensive zone. And at that point, it was critical because we had lost a few draws in critical times in the second period. And I thought, well, if we lose one outside our zone, at least then we're safe. But the ref didn't see it that way, and it ended up inside. Fortunately, we won it and got it out of there.
Ferland the Magician, Frank Ferland, the Tri-City Americans goalie, getting the win tonight, 3-2 over the Seattle Thunderbirds. We'll be back to wrap up in 1 minute on this KOTY Americans hockey broadcast. See him, Kirk Williamson, along with Tony Ott. Tony, quickly a look at the shots on goal tonight.
Well, for the total for the Tri-City Americans tonight, they outshot Seattle 37-32. It's a great game.
Well, it was indeed, and about the 3rd time in the last 4 games the Americans have outshot an opponent, something that didn't happen through the first 15 or 16 games, and that can be a little bit scary. The Americans winning tonight 3-2 over the Seattle Thunderbirds. We'll be back on Saturday night against the Kamloops Blazers. It'll be fun to watch the Blazers here in the Tri-Cities Coliseum. They are certainly a team that plays well at home. They have a big crowd. The crowd gets into the game. Be nice to see a lot of fans out tonight or on Saturday night for that game, and then the Blazers will be here again on Sunday night to take on the Tri-Cities Americans. From the Tri-Cities Coliseum, again, the final score, the Tri-City Americans 3, Seattle Thunderbirds 2. The Americans getting their 2nd win in a row for the 2nd time this season. I'm Kirk Williamson with Tony Ott. Good night on this KOTY Americans hockey broadcast.